Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, chat. We are back.
A lot of focus on their search during the holiday
And we
break.
are ready
And
for
man, did they come to
finals
play. We
day.
saw some like major strategies coming out of them across those two search and destroys.
We obviously didn't watch the Carolina game or the LA Thieves game. But if you guys don't know, Carolina beat New York 3-2. And FaZe beat LA Thieves 3-1.
And for Carolina Royal Ravens, the best thing about them right now is they don't just have one game mode that they're excelling in and then squeaking by in the rest. They are absolutely slamming teams. It doesn't matter if it's hardpoint, doesn't matter if it's search and destroy.
So
even
we're hoping to see this noise.
Today, though, they take on Optic Texas, and we never know what we're going to get. Will it be a 3-0? Are we going to have to grind out a round 10, round 11 S&D? Optic, we know one thing for sure, though. Dashy is going to be there to play and drop some massive damage.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Dashy's been doing nuts this whole
He's going to
tournament.
clutch some 1v2s. And, you know, every time we watch him, we're just wowed by his ability to just gun anybody at any moment. Guy's got a crispy shot. But, yeah, I mean, that's the challenge.
He dropped a little bit on the last action of his spray, though.
Because when Shotzi's frying and he gets lost and trying to deal with him, that's when Dashy becomes a huge threat because he's just posted up, mowing you down. I think the most impressive thing with them, kind of similar to Carolina, is like their adjustments in search and destroy. Got into some tough situations versus Boston yesterday where Purge was getting loose and they adjusted and ended up taking him out to win some of those rounds. So Optic looked good everywhere at the moment.
Allie, people in the chat yesterday were saying, oh, Optic's got an easy road. They played Falcons with two new players on day one. They play Boston, who is considered one of the weaker top 4 teams, day 2. How do you feel they match up against Carolina, though?
I think they match up incredibly well versus Carolina. I think it's one of those situations where they're playing up and down to their competition. That's also what I kind of felt like FaZe was doing the past couple of weeks. And for Optic Texas, it's just about being on the same page for them right now. They have the gunny and the talent in this game. Shotzi's dropping numbers, and if you can't deal with the front line, you still have to deal with Dashy in the back line. Kylo Ken showed out in maps 4 and 5 yesterday, and Hook has just been solid across the board. So they all just need to be able to put it together at the same time.
The math will tell you that Optic are the underdogs against Carolina, but in the chat, they will be fan favorites, especially for this storyline. Shotzi chasing 100 match victories. That is a career accomplishment few have.
Yeah, 100%. And
Well,
Shotzi's been on social media and on stream lately. He can get 2 of those last 2 wins today and win the first minor tournament of the season. Would be huge for Optic in the green wall.
He's building snowmen. He's building dubs. He's trying to build a dub here at Minor 1. He's got to take on Slasher, though, and you can represent either of these players in-game right now. All you got to do, pick up your team skins, support your favorite players and your favorite squads with Tusick home and away. And it's not just the team skins, Allie. We got some gun camos. We got gun buddies, the whole
Yeah,
game.
we've got like bats with speakers in them. There is just so much going on in these packs. You're definitely getting hella when you spend your money for this stuff.
I like the kitty cat. Make sure you pick those up. They're available right now in the COD store across the globe. It's time, though, for your pick'ems. And this has been pretty fun, Nameless. You have been on fire. Allie and I were getting about half of them right today. Allie, which one do you think is closer, though? FaZe, Rocker, Royal Ravens, Optic?
Definitely Royal Ravens and Optic. We talked to Abizi yesterday, and I asked, do you want some 3-0s or do you want some nitty-gritty matches? And they're looking for some sweets. So I'm hoping to see their first 3-0 of the season.
You agree with that?
Nah, I think FaZe Rocker is going to be a banger, bro.
He's
I could be
picked them
crazy.
twice.
I could be crazy.
2 reverse sweeps. Will it be 3? Only time will tell. That match is just a few moments away, followed by Optic Texas versus Carolina Royal Ravens. And then, of course, we conclude our single elimination Minor 1. It's live. It's the CDL before we head to Spain. Minor 1.
Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Esports World Cup is an official partner of the Call of Duty League.
I'm back. We got our foods for the watch party. So we got Minnesota Rockers versus FaZe. No. This is gonna definitely test Minnesota Rocker and FaZe. But to be completely honest, if we do get to the final, I would rather play against FaZe than Minnesota Rocker
Yeah.
at this point. Right, they actually gave us one ketchup. Sauce it? Oh, these are mine. There we go, we've got 6 barbecues and 2 ketchups, because that's definitely how many you need. Alright, I think FaZe might take this, but Minnesota have been playing pretty good, so I definitely can see Minnesota winning this as well. 100%.
Your semifinals are ready to get underway as we have your first match ready. Atlanta FaZe is about to take on Minnesota Rocker, who has played first 3 straight days in a row. They've started 0-2 in their first 2 matches, but now they find themselves comfortable in those game 3s. Let's take a look at their opposition today. It's Atlanta FaZe. This squad will be taking them to Protocol, Vault,
Protocol,
Red
Vault,
Card, and Protocol for
Protocol.
a game 5. Nameless, you've been on point with this Minnesota squad. Are they confident on Protocol or Vault?
I mean, on Vault Control, Minnesota feels very good. 3-1. We've seen Nero going off on that map. And then on Protocol, yeah, I would say so. I mean, a 1-2 record, but, you know, you're going up against Atlanta FaZe, who have looked like the best Protocol hardpoint team. So it's definitely a tall task, but I still trust Minnesota, man. Even if they lose that map number 1, they're confident they can reel it back in.
I don't know, that map 4 Protocol, Minnesota Rockers 0-2 on it, but again, they're also really struggling 1-5 map 1, so it could just be the specialty of the later half of the match.
I think it's time to do some scuff pick'ems. Let's make them official. Let's lock them in. Wheeler, no cheating. You can't go first. Allie, you have to.
I have to go first. I'm going with Atlanta FaZe. I really liked what I saw from the ARs yesterday and from the SMGs all weekend long. I think we're going to go with the red.
I'm going to stop going against Atlanta FaZe. I, too, will ride with Simp Abizi, but I think it's going to be Celium's day to shine.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Minnesota Rocker. Gritty team. You know, it's a crazy call, but I just feel like I've seen some great moments from them. And the Control is a game mode Atlanta has sort of hung their hat on throughout the years to, like, get the series back in their favor. And I think Mini are better at it right now.
You're going to get 30 correct picks before I get to 20. That's blowing my mind, Nameless. He's got Minnesota Rocker top 2. Study, is this guy on Mars right now?
Nah, he's not really on Mars, Chris. Minnesota got ice. Like, they got ice in the base, Al. We're talking about 4 series where you go to a game 5 and you're undefeated in game 5 versus some of the best teams that we have in the league. So you can't count these guys out. They're always going to be in the series.
It's such a tough team to put a finger on, legitimately. Like, map 5 bangers versus LAG, but then you come out and you beat one of the consensus best teams in the league last year, or, you know, this year.
Fist bumps are in.
It just feels like there's no opponent that they can't square up against. It just comes down to, are they going to do it by map 1 or are they going to do it by map 3?
That's the only thing that's scary about it, Alan, because I tweeted it yesterday. I said, Minnesota, realistically, their series don't start until map 3 because they tend to start slow into these hard points. Even though they started slow yesterday versus Toronto, they still only lost by 10 points.
They want to separate the
You get 6-1. Backs against the wall. You need a miracle to happen, and then that miracle starts that momentum. And then they go to the map 3. They get to the map 4. And then when it gets to the map 5, it's anyone's game. So if you're Minnesota, you just need to make sure you start off hot today because the way that Abizi was playing yesterday, 112 kills in the series, that guy was all over the damn map.
Well, it's about to be a first look where we'll see Atlanta take on Minnesota here this season. And again, it comes in our minor tournament with Protocol as the opener. We'll also finish with it as Minnesota often goes 5 in case that is indeed the case. But to start things off, nice patience here from the Rocker, finding a couple of nice kills to allow them a chance to contest, but the follow-up from Abizi right off to the races again.
Yeah, it's just too much pressure right here from Atlanta FaZe. You got Abizi hit that zip line, find that first kill, so... Now they're going to be the team soaking up this P1 time, but a couple kills going in favor of Rocker. At least 3 dead. Abizi, the only player all spawn, has to take his time. And with only 20 seconds left, throw your nades, throw everything you can to take them off.
Our first game where it's different colors.
Indeed the case.
Yeah.
Although, a couple of nice eliminations from Minnesota will allow them to start making a move up the map. Simp trying to get annoying, and he will find Geo up top. That will put a lot of clearance.
Well, there's no same colors now.
Secure these spawns and rotate over to P2. Problem is, you have kind of this split spawn situation for Minnesota, and they're taking a pause. They know that Simp is still playing in the backline, but from the front, Minnesota finding the kills they need. Leaving draws it by himself, but he's done well to get his first, trying to secure the second, and he'll be able to do so.
Oh, damn.
Draza lighting things up off 3 in a row.
Oh, now this potentially is going to lead to Atlanta FaZe putting them in a little bit of a trap towards the backside of tower, unless Paul X has something to say about it. Paul X and Nero combined for 3 around P2 and instantly shut down that opportunity for Atlanta FaZe. Now with 35 seconds still to go, you have routes being developed. Draza doesn't want to give up all this time, but does he check in towards Lab? Yes, he does. Astro puts down shots. At least gives the combo. Minnesota
Oh,
still
Geo
in control.
2-piece.
And Geo, after a little bit of a slower start, right back into the mix, able to lock down a lot of the scrap time. 18 seconds to fight for. Minnesota feeling a bit of pressure from the backside of tower. They'd be correct. That's where a lot of this hit for Atlanta is coming from. They just don't fully get a read. Estriel also now in a bit of trouble, as he's going to have to just sit here, hold his line, and wait for P3 to open. Little up and over. Cellium tries to play off the zip line, but Estriel finding elimination allows Minnesota a chance to break through the old time and still put some rotational focus into play.
Yeah, that's fantastic plays right there at Estriel. The Soul Man pushed up, was just hoping that he could get a couple kills to make it easier for his teammates to rotate into that hard point, but even in a man-up situation with one player from Atlanta FaZe spawning out, they still are in control
Minnesota
of those
are
back
on
spawns,
heat right now.
and they're here for a break attempt.
Play coming in quickly, though, from the backside. Abizi selling first 2 kills, allow them to get into lockers, and Paul cannot find a trade, leaving Geo by himself. He's done well to cleanly get the first. Nades up top will keep him at bay. The hit, though, on the way for Minnesota is delayed. Trying to play through this sidewalk position. Abizi's already gotten a read on it, and Abizi almost able to turn that into a couple. The information, though known, will be followed up on, and Atlanta will keep this contested while Minnesota continue to play for the spawns.
And the spawns are going to be flipped out, so Minnesota potentially walking away with the final 15 and the rotations to new, but Abizi going to be here nice and early. This is what Atlanta FaZe tend to do well on this map. Just rotate early and set up properly. And with that double, they're already going to have that man advantage, so they should be set up for this money hill.
Yeah, looking good for it. Abizi's double turns into a third for Draza. Now looking for Estriel shut down. Atlanta in the hard point for now, but Minnesota starting to build their setup. A lot of it coming through spiral staircase, but you do have a player on the pinch. That's Nero. If he can find one, that would be the go call for Minnesota to try to break on it, and he does find the eliminations. Now it's all by action on the hard point itself. Abizi trying to...
Ooh, Nero got one.
Cannot find Nero, but Draza will confirm, and Atlanta will hold.
Just trade after trade after trade after trade. It was Atlanta that starts it off. It's Atlanta that's able to finish it, but for how long? The setup is still weak. Everybody from Minnesota drops down through zip. They find every single kills and execute that break to perfection. The second best break team that we have on this map. It just came down to if they can fix their setups. And so far for this final 30, they should have a nice little lead going into the second half of this game.
And I think just to kind of bullet point, the difference between Minnesota and map ones this weekend compared to what we're seeing right now is they're so quick to follow up after these 3v3
Minnesota on
situations
heat right
turn
now.
into like a couple of players
They're
just
cracked.
remaining by themselves. They're so quick to get off respawn and follow up with their kind of secondary hit, so to speak. Atlanta, though, a nice job to kind of close out the last hard point and still initialize this new one. They're going to get this thing back to around 20 points before Minnesota has a chance to try to break.
Nice, good read from Geo.
Coming in from Geo, reading the pinch coming in from Cellium. Now you can just invest your stuns, invest your nades. Try to take him off of this P1. Astro at least catches opening through mid-gun, but it's still Atlanta FaZe soaking up all this hill time. The ARs are holding down the long-distance lanes. Finally, Sympa's going to fall, but with all that map control, you're instantly going to hop right back on in.
Yeah, the SMGs for Atlanta doing a nice job of just providing some pressure, but more so making sure they're not keeping their focus purely on playing for kills. Lots of good objective focus coming through, especially from the side of Simp at the moment at 37 seconds early. Cell, nice little bounce off, just making sure that Grandma stays safe over towards the Atlanta side of the map, and with 8 seconds remaining, a lot of pressure onto Minnesota to try to find a way to rotate over to P2.
Yeah, they're going to be late. It's another rotation won by Atlanta FaZe, but last time it was an early break coming in from Rocker that kept this hill scrappy. As it's all out aggression through top mid. Better trades coming in from Atlanta FaZe. That leads to 3 dead. And last player is as well going to fall. And look what Atlanta do on your mini-map. They flip those spawns. One player in Estriel is going to spawn out. Actually, a split spawn is going to come in. I don't know if Atlanta is going to be able to handle this.
Yeah, they don't. I was about to say the exact same thing. It looked like Atlanta had done the exact right idea of trying to kind of flip the spawns and trap Minnesota in the back, but a couple of the members that you called out do spawn behind this setup, and that allows for a very quick re-break from Minnesota, using the best of the situation that they were given. Estriel playing inside of billiards, looking to possibly move through P1 to try to get some sort of an opening on the sidewalk behind 3. The remaining focus on the scrap time, though.
Nice from Nero.
Caught trying to play through field side, and now Minnesota are going to clear the floor and have a chance to start to rotate with Atlanta spawning behind it old.
Yeah, this is where you want to get aggressive with the kills. Fortunately, if you're Estriel, you're not ready for selling with the knife on the top of the zip. He's just trying to keep control of that power position, but Still a 30-point difference. You already have Minnesota, a couple players contesting towards the back end, but Gio is going to fall. Estru at the same time. Last guy is Nero. Has to try to be a hero, and he gets taken care of. Now Atlanta can stabilize.
Can they find a way to turn this into a Money Hill situation for them? That's the big question. Opening 20 seconds is free. Draza,
nicely
trying to reposition. He's got a number of rocket members now in front of him.
Good
Still
job.
does well to collect another elimination. That leads now to Abeezy having to track back and follow up with Simp, and so far so
This
good.
is very back and
Astral
forth.
on the backside, making a bit of a mess of this. He's actually just able to walk right back into the hard point, find himself a second, leaving Draza a bit limited in terms of what he can do with help, and well, he doesn't need it. And double for him comes out. Minnesota still trying to battle 15 seconds of scrap.
Yeah, but Draza's thinking ahead. He knows that the next hill is a money hill. I'm going to get these 2 pieces of kills, but I'm going to rotate nice and early, and thankfully it works out because he gets another double and then sets up Simp for the final trade. So Atlanta FaZe again doing the fundamental aspect correctly.
playing way better.
The setup needs to be a lot better. Minnesota broke in with ease last go around.
3 opening eliminations come through for Atlanta. Only player missing is Astral, and he's trying to flip the map around, but Easy, nice little bump out. He's going to find himself too, and that pretty much stops the hit before it can come through. Simp also tallies Astral in the shaft, and that's going to be enough for Atlanta to catch their first lead as we jump on over to an Atlanta FaZe listening.
Nice, bro. Go.
nicely.
Dude, one's weak, dude.
Are you still hungry?
Two on time.
Nah, I feel like them.
Here's top zone. Okay, I'm playing mid. Let me chill left, yeah. Just play new guys. I'll see him. Yo, he's tower. I'll see him top mid. He's mid somewhere. Listen, he's top tower. Yeah, I'm pitching their tower. Tower. Never mind. I'm making down.
Why did mine freeze?
Oh, that's 3. That's 4 dead. Estral getting a
My
3-piece there. A 4-piece.
Mine completely froze.
Oh my god, he must got 180. Bottom ammo.
Keep it there, bud.
I was going to say for it too.
Well, it's empty.
Yeah.
Was the salsa sauce good?
I don't know.
Oh, did you not try it?
No. I've tried it before. It's like a rich tomato.
Got a bit of pepper.
Oh, we're actually perfect now.
Spot to say for a minute there, Jay, going from 4-1 again, it just kind of felt like Atlanta were just trying to find eliminations. Oh, they're back here, they're over to the side. But now finally through P2, they get about 35, 40 seconds worth of time and a chance to possibly put this away with a rotational win the new.
Yeah, that's been every single P2 so far in this game. Atlanta have been the team early on into that hard point, but finally they're able to get a chunk of time off of it. Still a 20-point difference, a fight for the spawn. Simp finds a freebie onto Nero, but they know that the pressure's gonna be over towards it. Now you put yourself in a 4v2. We just gotta trade out. We know that they're spawning front.
Real top, Geo down low. Wow, the damage is so good. High. Geo win that. Celium's the last one remaining now up top in Minnesota.
This is it.
Calling it
Winners here.
2v4. They essentially break that one down low, one up high, and a chance then to reclaim the lead.
And this is where Minnesota had to show improvements on their setup. This is where they tend to struggle. Easily broken into, and Atlanta FaZe are picking them apart one by one. Already 2 dead. Nero's getting spotted at least at 3. Make it all 4. Spawns are out. Atlanta can still win.
It's gonna have to be Paul around the back and then Geo from the side door. 240 to 217. Here comes the pinch attempt. Geo finds his first. Simp trying to confirm the trade does, but cannot contest the hard point.
Oh, looks like we might be going to a... Oh, we're going to P4.
Minnesota on their approach down.
They're already on it though.
Gets a read over through the spiral stairs, and maybe a chance for the last 8 seconds to come through here with Sellium lurking in a corner.
Oh, but Sellium's not gonna find that kill. Now it's Abe's turn. He's also gonna fall. Draza finds a double. Still even in the numbers of the trade, but here comes Simp, the MVP of last season. Can he make a play? Still in the hill. Need 5 seconds, and they might have done it.
Sure may have. Now it's got to be through the side door. Gio stunned up. He has to touch the contestant.
That's it.
Cell, he's able to find the kill, and no one else can touch for Minnesota. Whoa,
That was close.
Once again, it was a staple of the Atlanta hard points in the first weeks of the qualifiers. He came up big when he needed to most, and boy did he ever once again there. Not just to go completely amiss over the top of P3, but down low at the very end, finding 2 last eliminations for Atlanta to secure the 250.
Yeah, fantastic plays from Atlanta FaZe from start to finish up that game, Alan. We knew that going into that, it was going to be a battle of the rotations, but I wasn't expecting Atlanta to basically win every single one. We're talking about early in towards the P4s, early in towards the P2s, flipping the spawns at the right time for the P3s. And even though Minnesota were able to keep themselves into the game, it was hero plays coming in from Estriel, dropping down bottom and getting a 3-piece. Nero had his moment. Same thing could be said for Paul X. It's just when you're not rotating early, when you're playing a team that's very difficult to try to break on in, because Atlanta have showed improvements on their setups, they were just thinking a step ahead of you. A very close game again for Minnesota Rocker, but unfortunately they fall short. Now they have to rely on a search and destroy, which is not going to be easy because we saw the improvements out of Atlanta's game yesterday.
Yeah, really a big point. It's just, again, when you look down the scoreboard here, though, to kind of recap onto this opening hard point, we were kind of talking a little bit before, getting on the air here, that this Minnesota team, when they suffer in the openings of these series,
there we go.
The fact that they're just getting flat
You got your big butt one, small butt.
Some of that, I think, comes to the byproduct of they're trying to be mixy. They're trying to, get a player around the back completely.
I feel so bloated.
Setup may be
Same.
for Atlanta, which, like you called appropriately, they were winning a lot of rotations. They were at these hills first. I think especially P2, P4,
I knew this map
I think
would be
every
mixy.
single one, Atlanta was there first. It's just
Protocol always ends up being just very
mixy, yeah.
Mixy.
Track of where Rocker players were. A couple of members slipping through. You're reacting almost in real time instead of trying to get proactive until you get to those last 2 hard points where Abizi
Dave,
do a lot of the legwork.
take your things, please.
Yeah, it's just those slim mistakes, Alan. Like if you go back to the second half of the game around that P2 where they got all 4 kills, but no one was in a position to sit in towards top 10 or top trips window to block that back spawn. And then that completely catches you off guard.
Oh, because he can't take kills, so he might gag.
Chain into P3 and we blow this game wide open, but just those little things for Atlanta FaZe are continuously making the game mixy for them. And for Minnesota Rocker, they're forced to play mixy, Alan, because you're not winning rotations. A lot of these gunfights are a lot more difficult for you. When you're trying to rotate in towards P3 and you're spawning over towards Grandma's, you got to get past every single window. You got to hit a long route to go through underground or try to flank sidewalk. Yeah. It's just so much more difficult when you're not winning rotations or putting yourself in a position to have easier gunfights due to that lack of fundamental play.
I don't know if we'll see the Sellium play here over the top at P3. He kind of just gets lost. He just sits up top. Finds, I think, the trade onto Estriel, and no, we don't actually get a chance to see it in the final play, but he's up there, and it just looked like Minnesota forgot about him. And then all of a sudden, he just walks down the staircase, finds a couple, allows FaZe to break through P3, give them the numbers advantage to rotation to 4, and then, of course, at the very end, I think he finds 3 of the final 4 eliminations to get that little bit of a stretch that Atlanta needed. But it can take a while. I mean, Minnesota came out cooking, kept the lead all the way until we got halfway through our second set of hills, really all the way through our second set from completion. But that little play at the end, I think, is the big game-winning moment there for Cell again.
Yeah, when you need to drop down and you need a player to get a couple kills, none better than Sellium. He's been leading the KD department for like the last 4 years in the CDL. Finally starting to get back to the groove of things, and I need him to do that because on my fantasy team, he's been costing me, bro. He's been costing me. Thank you, Sellium, for starting to turn up so far this week.
No way, Jay's out here just rooting for fantasy points. I
need some, bro. I'm getting cooked.
Are you actually? I'm 1-1. I got Allie this week on our Breaking Point Fantasy. But let's talk about the Search and Destroy. I think in particular, let's keep the focus on Minnesota right here, right now, because the results really aren't convincing on this particular map mode combination for either squad. But again, just kind of in normal Minnesota form, the results you can look at for Rocker was a 2-6 loss in map 2 versus LAG. But then this is also the map that they were able to take versus LA Thieves 6-1. So it's just like, which search and destroy are we going to get from Minnesota today?
I feel like we're always going to get a consistent game out of Minnesota. It just depends on if they actually want to play in map 2, or at least turn to map 2 and make them in their mind thinking, all right, we're in map 5, guys. We got to lock in right here. Because they always tend to fall short early into these rounds, and versus a team like Atlanta FaZe, you cannot do that. It's very difficult for them to allow you to bring yourself back into the game because they like to make those mid-round adjustments. But I think if you're Minnesota Rocky, you just got to stay true to what you are on Vault, which is great in the opening. Dual win percentage, great in your post plants, and also great in your retake situations. Teamwork needs to make the dream work here.
Yeah, both teams really very successful when it comes to the open build percentage on this map mode combination. And this time in round one, it will tilt in favor of Atlanta with Simp finding the opener onto Nero. Just trying to get timing to contest that bomb plant. Estriel, he's not going to be able to challenge from that angle. That's been held. Trying to reset, trying to find a way to open things up backside P2. But look at this Atlanta post plant. They know that someone's going to try to hit the flank. There's the information, but Draza, he's not going to be aware that there are two members here in Minnesota. Find the trades, Jay.
Oh, that's fantastic plays out of Estriel and Geo. Find both of those kills. Now you know that the Terra's going to be trapped in towards the site. You got a couple stuns, a couple nades to potentially make your push on easier. And Geo and Paul X successful on the retake. This is what they do. It's not one player trying to make a solo play. Obviously, we started off the round with Nero just jumping out towards pool. But even in the 3v4, get together, let's work together, and a successful retake comes in early in for the game for Minnesota. Fantastic.
And I love the idea for Minnesota that Estriel playing over towards the balcony stairs, he gets seen, and you can't just take that challenge by yourself to break through that deep post plant over towards that gold building and backside P2 by the hot tub. So someone comes through and helps, and Drazatis doesn't expect it. And then I think that was Geo who came with part of that play. Then he backs up to play through the hole in the wall and just drop in to get the pinch underway. So really well done by Minnesota on the retake as now they go to their first offense.
Shush.
RC waiting out the nades, trying to not give early information what their play is going to be, but Atlanta FaZe.
Please put your camera on so they can see.
He's either first blooded or finds the first blood, and there, Geo's able to take him down for now the 3v4.
Nice little bounce pass from Draza, though, cooking up the frag to take the trade in play. Simp quickly around the back. Oh, this timing is perfect. He's able to find Paul for free. So now it's just down to what Nero do with Estriel inside the site. Nero tried to play a little bit deeper, back over towards the B control point. Not to be. So it's just down to Estriel. 1v3 moment. He's been tagged up from both sides. Good first, but nothing more he could do. Flat out overwhelmed as Atlanta respond with a defensive retake of their own.
Yeah, it's just so difficult, Alan, when you're the players inside the site and all your teammates fall outside towards pool, because then you start to panic a little bit. You're already
lucky you didn't see you take the big ones, because that was the funny one.
Play there, and Nero unfortunately walked into the preem of Celium, who loves to play over towards that B site at those void doors for the push through. But it all starts with Simp catching that timing onto Paul. If Paul's able to finesse that a little bit longer, at least play his life a little bit longer, potentially Estriel has a different route on in. But once he falls with 25 seconds left, someone had to make a play, and Atlanta with too many numbers were able to pick them apart.
Bob picked up quickly. 3-man hit up towards the top side of balcony. The drop in likely to follow. When we were here last time, there was an early contest from Minnesota. It came out of Nero. This time, it's all focused for Rockets trying to reclaim mid-map. And they've gotten up towards the double doors. This comes down to how do they use Estriel's position at B Street to try to, again, surround this retake.
Yeah, this is going to be on Draza and Celium. Hopefully watching each other's backs. Paul Lex is able to fly on in and catch a double. Now another situation where the SMGs that are in the site have to try to make a play. Simp going on the pinch, and BZ trying to walk to the side of BZ falls. Simp 1v4?
Yeah, maybe. It's happened before, Jay. It's just not looked like this. Not going to happen this time. And that's just a good timing. I mean, BZ's in a good spot. I like the idea of him trying to back up and play through that B control point again. But his feet get seen. He gets taken down quickly. But that guy top left taking a sip of some, I don't know what, probably a cup of Joe or something of the nature. Paul gets 2 on that little push through backside P2 in electric fashion.
Yeah, and I don't like that round right there out of Atlanta. Like, it looks like it was 2 people just absolutely turtled in their spawn. Like, they were scared of the pressure coming in from Minnesota. And it completely catches them off guard. Team shots come in for the first kill. Team shots come in for the second kill. Again, teamwork is making the dream work for Rocker. But if you're Atlanta FaZe, you cannot afford to turtle in your base like that. You got to be the aggressors, because remember who you are.
Yeah, it's got to be something along the lines of them just trying to counteract what Minnesota had done on their previous retake. This time, it's Minnesota not taking the jump in to pool. This time, they push into marble, and Atlanta was not prepared for that at all. First 2 kills. Clean. Bomb going to be planted. 4v2.
Simp and left the clock, try to clutch on up. Trophies are already down, so nades and stuns are not going to be impactful here. going to be all about the gunny. And with all the information that you currently get over towards Pro, you're probably thinking they're all in the sight.
Yeah, Simp is going to try to drop on into this with Cell trying to create some noise over towards Palm side. And actually looks like they want to try to play this one together. This is one of those, hope you can just slide and chow through. Semtex out, Simp's able to find one, but the follow-up here, they would have to line up, and that's just not going to happen. Love the idea. First 2 kills come through, get the plant, everyone stay inside the site with the help of the trophy.
Okay, doing a lot better with this one.
4v2, you're playing your advantages. We know that I have 4 people alive, you have 2. If we trade it out, we're definitely going to have most likely 2 people left at the end of the round, but Minnesota do not slow down with the momentum that they were able to build even after losing such an intense map, number 1. They're showing prowess so far in this S&D. They take away mid-hallway. They're setting the tone early on versus Atlanta, and Atlanta right now haven't had a read on it. On their offenses, they're turtling their base. On their defenses, they're not prepared for the aggression in front of them. So Atlanta need to switch it up quick.
Yeah, and I think the thing about it, and you've called it out now, is you can't just hold off of that P2 backside pull post plant. And this time, it's a quick, aggressive hit, trying to make its way through balcony. Nero's stun, I do believe, or Semtex may have gotten a tag. It slows the play down a touch, Paul. Not quite able to lock the shots onto a BZ. So bomb planted in the post plant for FaZe is way different this time.
Yeah, this is going to make it a little bit easier with all the map controls they currently have, but the timing might come into play. Draza only able to get one of BZ effective on the trade. Now in a 1v3 is Gio, and he gets picked off, and that's what you got to do right there if you're Atlanta. Do not allow them to dictate the game versus you. Just simply hitting that stun on Tenero on the bottom side of the catwalk steps forces them to not be the aggressors. And then you take that map away, you get the bomb down, and you hold strong on that setup for a great post plant to secure that round.
And Draza with an SMG, we've seen that a couple of different times from FaZe on their offense, where he wants to get a part of the play, and he almost kind of serves as the bait for a player like a BZ. In that situation, that was exactly the case. But Draza finding the opener, BZ confirming his trade, leads to a 2-for-1 exchange that you'll take every day of the week and twice on Sunday. 3-2 the count, though. Minnesota still hold the edge.
You're muted, bub.
And Atlanta trophy system defensively, they're going to use
So if that is the case, that'll be mad.
of a catalyst to try to get aggressive of their own, but Nero slides out, finds one. That's okay, 3v3.
Yeah, Atlanta says, screw this. These are their offensive rounds so far have been way too comfortable. Let's make it a little bit chaotic. So, trade effective on that early 3v3. The bomb is not instantly going to go down, and now you're going to sort of get a read on this. We don't feel any pressure over towards Pool. Selim's going to start to back up his way, at least watch that crossover towards B. He might get that info that Paul X is here.
Well, it's all about the timing, and there it is. Both players will scout one another out. Estriel is trying to rotate the bomb over to B. Stun check from FaZe's defense does land. That's enough for Minnesota to be dissuaded from playing on the B site and get right back in towards A. Bomb being planted. Defense has to rotate once again. Draws will be the first one here.
I love that rotation right there to Rocker. Draw the attention to the opposite site. Hit the vault door instantly. Now put yourself in a power position with the trophy down. Now Atlanta trying to find some success on the retake scenario. You have one player in Gio who's hitting a route, though, that might cause a problem.
Yeah, Draza's been seen, so with that tag, Gio can actually take the long route and play a different clutch position in case it starts to go awry. Here comes the hit. Sid finds the opener. Estriel just being all slippery. Bottom side at A. Gio, last one left now. He's got to play the cross. All the shots initially aren't clean. It does force a team kill, but plenty of time for the defuse. I love the idea from Minnesota, but simply put, it's just the opener on the retake from the front for Atlanta to turn the tides that whole post plan.
That's all it comes down to is the opener, and I feel like it was great heads-up play right there from Atlanta, because I'm pretty sure whoever was playing over towards Hedges gets that info on Gio that he was playing around that gold area. So instead of completely investing all their cookies to try to find that kill, they work their numbers advantage in towards the site. And then eventually, once they realized Gio's last player alive, he has to be in a long-distance gunfight. And he was sitting on the opposite side of Vault with that AR. So those mid-round adjustments, they come in quick for Atlanta FaZe. And now that's what, 2 to 3 rounds in a row for them?
Yep. And I think just kind of going back to that moment, Gio had draws at one shot, just could not quite finish the kill. So small difference makers, leading to some major implications as Atlanta will go right back to the normal approach offensively. This is actually the same thing they ran round 1 with Cell playing over towards gold. He's in a long-range fight versus Gio, and Abizi just pops up, finds the trade. Still a 1-for-1 though, not bad, and Abizi's now stuck at the bottom side of the vault doors. He's gonna get isolated, and Estriel finds the kill, leading to a 3v2.
So now Sim's gonna try to make a play. Gonna hit the rewrap through vault door. Still 25 seconds to go. You're gonna have draws at least from pumps. Try to get an angle on the bomb, but Simp is gonna be on you.
Yeah, and Estriel will keep one safe. Draws against the collat for a 1v3. He just has to deal with Estriel. Opening shots are decent. Draws it back to full health. Estriel.
Estriel, how did he get that kill?
Draws can't believe it.
How did Estriel get that kill? I do not know. That was Draza all day long.
That cannot happen. We're talking about hitting him with a majority of your bullets when you're on a head glitch. He has to literally run at you and kill you. And yeah, Draza, the same way you look is how I look. Jaw dropped on the ground. Because those are ones that you got to win.
Yeah, how Draza lost that.
Take him off of the site. But then you get destroyed, brother. And everybody from Atlanta fans, let them know a little giggles coming out. But that's definitely one that you're going to go back and be like, damn, that one was mine.
Yeah, I mean, all day. The fact that he gets the collat in the first place didn't even seem all that likely based on where the bomb is being defused, but what a play from Estriel. Now on 3 in a row at 8-3. Bomb carrier as well for Minnesota. And he's just going to throw off a couple nades, make sure this A site stays clear. Sips RCXD not going to have much of an impact on this unless he can find a way to hop it over. And what he does, Paul will drop. Bomb's not planted yet.
Wait a minute. Oh, I thought the RC car was going to walk in there and find a kill, but at least you're able to turn it into a 3v3. Straza was able to take down Paul, but now that bomb is getting planted. Selim gets all the info. No one's camping over towards Pool, so how quick does he decide to make this play? Because eventually Gio has to get into it.
Yeah, and that's the real timing point here is who finds each other first between those two. Meanwhile, draws a Simp from the front. Nade helping out for Simps first, and he's going to rewrap this. They're going to find Gio. Yeah, he's going to get isolated here. There's just no way Gio gets back to this play. Surely not. Simp all over it. Tie us up at 4 apiece. Brilliant bounce back for Atlanta.
And I was ready to say, Atlanta FaZe, we're calling it an RC car. We cannot afford to get blooded, but thankfully Draza was able to catch that angle on Paul and then use all the info that Selling was able to give them. Like, guys, we can push through Pool. You can show a little presence through mid-vault. Thankfully, Simp was able to find that kill and get out. But then when Selim has all that info, they also isolate the player towards the site. Gio eventually tries to make a play, but at that point, you already lost where Simp was.
Trying to find food, but there's nothing here. You've had yours.
It's gotta be a lot quicker right there for Minnesota Rocket because you found that first blood, you can't really afford to die. You gotta play your 4v3 man advantage.
It's just so tough because that RC stays alive for so long. I think they're so worried about it. Stun over the top. Nero does not get affected by it. Second RC's on the floors. Atlanta try to get aggressive through this. They don't find the isolation, but they do at least take care of the RC quickly. And they've got a lot of map presence here. It just comes down to how much do they really want to utilize this. They're quickly right on into B. Sim's going for the plant.
Oh man, and they're actually going to get this objective down too, but unfortunately for FaZe, he just gets too aggressive in that situation. Bomb being down at B,
nice
it's not going to be a successful, easy retake, but thankfully you find 2 kills, 4v2.
We've seen clutches from this position before. Selling him over the top. Does he have an angle at this? I don't think he does. Nero's already hopped for it. Spam shots from Draza, takes down the bomb carrier. Gives Cell a chance at this. It would be a 1v3. Secondary diffuser's on already though, plus the suppressing fire for Minnesota. Finds elimination, and
Rocker might not start the game 2-0 down.
Rocker to realize where the pressure was coming in off the
that might be down for though.
There had to be a lot of aggressive plays coming through the middle of the map, but then with them using that RC, that allowed them to play their slow.
Because Rocker are a very good control team.
The pressure to come in towards
and FaZe on.
That bomb gets planted. Already 2 players in towards R to take down a BZ. Instantly find that kill onto Simp, and then Celium thought he had an angle from the top shot of gold, but 1v3, everybody with an AR preeming you. Yeah, GG, Minnesota, game point.
Still feels like this is, without question, not a guarantee at any stretch of the imagination. 10-4 though for Estriel. He's been all over the place. Simp at 10-6 on the other side. Minnesota quick to once again play through balcony. Look at the response though from FaZe. First time we've seen this. They just hit through bottom vault and are surrounding in towards it.
I love how she just goes into camera shot. She just randomly pops up.
No idea what the setup is looking like for Atlanta because they didn't invest any stuns or nades in the middle of the map either.
Yeah.
Now you're just thinking potentially just throw a couple shows and we can work this bomb in towards A. And Atlanta FaZe have yet to peak.
Yeah, and that is all the information they could possibly need.
Ow, your nails!
Estriel, who still wants to take that
Estriel getting a kill.
Nero right there for the team shots. Trophy system down late for FaZe.
Nero.
Still holding on to this A site. No motion for Minnesota towards B. They want to try to stick for this.
Oh, Ezreal getting another one.
For it, and now you've got a 3v2, 4v2, pardon me. And there's
oh, Ezreal getting another. That's it.
Finishes him out.
That's it. It's 1-1.
Question, because I think everyone's thinking the same thing. Whoa, what was that?
Scratching.
No, naughty. No scratching.
You don't know how many
No,
players
you
are
can't have
sitting outside
ketchup.
the pool. You walk into three
You
different
can't have
regions,
ketchup
they
on
will
its
all
own.
prepare for
That'll
that
make your
slide
tummy
out.
poorly.
And you
That'll
basically
make your
get
belly
a
bad.
3v kill and then force him to be stuck in that bomb side by himself. Yeah, I didn't get that one. I did not get that round there, but it's easier when Minnesota are finding early success for that first blood. The fact that they stalled out that round the way that they did and then used the stun, used the nade to get that info. Okay, they're playing in towards side. Let's bombard our way in. Everybody hold an angle, and we'll most likely open up with a kill. That's exactly what they did. Every single
It's the
round
first
that
time
Minnesota
this
were able to
tournament
walk
that
away
they've
with, they just
started
played
it
to their
1-1.
advantages. And it
Right
worked out
after the
for us.
first
See,
break.
This is what makes up a stellar search and destroy team. Able to tie the series up at 1.
Straight off the bat.
No, why do you have to bite my jump off? Can't you just like lay down?
Where you know you're down a man, you know you've got someone tagged, you know you're stuck inside of A, you feel like you kind of have to take a play, or do you feel like that was a little bit more on the frustration side for BZ just not finding much success in this map?
Well, I understand having to try to make a play in a man disadvantage, but like that play was not it. I'm telling you, that was not it. Like you'd rather stay inside with Simp and potentially set up a team fire on the way that they're sliding on in, because you start selling him on the
Hey,
side
no,
of the
that's
ball
my
door,
jump
so
off.
sort of that crossover towards B, but assisting his teammates if they did walk into A. It's just you gave yourself no chance there. You gave your teammates no chance in the 4v2, and Minnesota take advantage of it.
What a series so far. I think a lot of people would see this one on paper and say Atlanta should be cruising, but hey, this Minnesota team is gritty, man. You cannot rule them out. It just feels like one of those things that you just don't know which Minnesota team you're going to get on the day. But so far, as we head back to the desk, Rocker have looked strong as we go to a 1-1 tie into the control.
There's a possible 15 maps available today as we have 3 matches remaining in the minor. I have a feeling this one's going all 5 after watching Minnesota in that game too.
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota controlled like aggression. These guys are so good. Estriel calling game. And
Someone
Alan, to
needs
answer
a
your question,
chill
listen,
pill.
Abizi blacked out. At that
You got to, right?
He blacked out. I don't know what he was doing challenge.
After your 5th first blood, sometimes you're just like, any fight, I just need a kill at this point. All right, Abizi off on a search and destroy after being the hero a day earlier. Allie, overall, how is Atlanta playing?
Atlanta's playing all right. It's just Minnesota's playing better, especially in that search and destroy. Estriel, that is the best performance we've seen from him so far, especially in a map number 2.
She wants me to play with her, yeah, chat. But whenever I play with her toys, I'll play with her, and then she'll run off with her toy. So I can't play with it like now.
It's like gas and chasing today.
And today, Ed, I want to know, why is Minnesota so dangerous in search?
So a lot of people see them and they just go, man, they're just so aggressive. They're just running around like it's AW because of the Omni movement. I'm telling you, it is controlled. So let's jump into the
No, wait, you dropped your toy.
Let's talk about this round from them, okay? So for Atlanta FaZe, you see on the mini-map, this is like the standard push. You get some players down low bottom vault to plant that bomb, and you usually have an island player that can watch like your outer pool and pick up players coming through mid or through the mid windows, right? So let's clear this a little bit, and let's talk about what Minnesota's trying to do. So Minnesota, what they have here is like, we're gonna take space and we're gonna isolate your island, right? So you have them raised, watching like the push
No,
through
you
here
dropped
to see
your
if
toy
anybody
again.
tries to get
No,
all the way to
you
their
dropped
base
your
and, like,
toy
make a
again.
play.
Play with your
And
toy.
this guy, he's gonna be watching B Street to make sure they're not going B. So you've cleared B, you
Yeah,
cleared your
I'm done
spawn
now.
push,
My back
and these guys,
really hurts.
so they've shut down mid, right?
Oh,
So that's Paul X.
my back
They're
really
gonna
hurts.
now, once they get all that information, like, hey, nobody's B Street, nobody's pushing our spawn, right? We're gonna just go straight towards the island, and we're gonna kill these guys that are trying to play here.
No,
Because
no,
now, since we've gathered all that information, we know exactly where you're gonna be, which is down here playing on that island. So let's talk about it and let's watch it. So Paul X and Nero, they see nobody's mid, all right, nobody's B Street, all right, nobody's our spawn. Yeah, I know what you're doing. You're playing the A-bomb, you're doing the default strat, and we're just gonna fly at you. And meanwhile, while we're flying to the island, we also have our teammate Estriel going around the deep spawn to make sure nobody's playing in the back base. Once you kill both players in the island, you know you probably have them trapped on bomb, and if not, they've scattered out, and you can just simply use your numbers. Estriel goes, picks off the player vault, and now we have a 3v1 in a situation. We're just gonna overwhelm you. So these guys clearing information, taking space, and just figuring out exactly what you're doing in the first 10 seconds of the round.
Do you think they seem to be on the same page, exact same time they round the corner to challenge the back attack. So is this a 3-2-1 chow situation, or are you just in flow state as a squad?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. Yeah, it is a 3-2-1 chow situation. It's like, all right, we're getting ready to go, and they've just done it so many times in practice where it's like Estriel knows, like, once I get this information is when you guys go. So those two push, and Estriel just instantly goes around the back, where players do sometimes play the depths. He would have killed one if he was there.
Rocker, always well coached. You can clearly see the S&D work is paying dividends. They are here on a championship Sunday, and they are guaranteed top 4. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, though, from this game, too. We mentioned it, 5 first deaths for Abizi. Great call out there by Shift. That seemed to be a difference maker in Atlanta's search game from yesterday to today.
100%, because when you look at the search game from Atlanta FaZe, they're a pretty good attack team, but only because they're getting those first bloods. They're top 4 in attack, number 1 opening dual win rates on attack, but they're struggling on defense. So overall, the fact that not only Estriel showed them something that they weren't expecting today, but the fact they were able to get 8 first bloods on the side of Minnesota Rocker severely put a stop to Atlanta FaZe's plans.
All right, Davis, I see you smiling over there. You're not used to seeing 1 on the board.
I'm out of breath.
2 games.
I'm not surprised.
5 still. Do you think it goes to the distance, or does Minnesota in that second hard point?
Minnesota, I think it does go game 5. I think Minnesota win this control, though.
Okay.
They've been very good at control. I believe we're headed to Vol, a map that I can't wait to just watch Nero. So, observers, if you're hearing me, can we get a little bit of Nero play in our last year?
N-E-R-O. He'll be like number 7 or something. Put him on the screen the whole time.
I completely agree with you. I completely echo what Ann said. I think now at this point, because Minnesota was able to win that map number 2, we're definitely heading to a game number 5. I mean, just looking at the overlay, like the control, obviously you have to lean towards Minnesota Rocker. They're 4-2 in control right now. They're crazy good at attack, which you don't see often in the league. And Vault, obviously, the most reps.
All right, chat, I need to know. Put a 4 in the chat right now if we finish on red card. Put a 5 in the chat if we see another game 5 here at Miner number 1. It's time to find out, though, can Minnesota win their 3rd straight control? We go over to Shift and Study.
I love the point from Ali talking about Minnesota's just extraordinary efforts on offense. That's definitely been where we've seen typically the series start to turn for this Minnesota Rockers squad. On the other side, though, Jade, there's a bit of like almost borderline confusion because this Atlanta team has not been able to find much success. I think in particular, like in the slaying department, like not doing well with average lives on offense, and they're really not doing all that well when it comes to the overall metric on defense either. So it feels like they're just not able to keep up with the opponents that they find, especially here involved.
Yeah, and I think that might be a first time ever, Alan, when we're talking about Atlanta FaZe struggling in slaying, because right now they're sitting at 11th overall in the league. They don't find success when you talk about the 6 segments or anything like that on the attack, and that's due to the way that they played the map previously. We haven't seen them on for a little bit, but the last time I watched it was when they lost the Falcons, and it was just nonstop. All right, we're pushing forward, no one wrapping back, no one trying to do the dirty work. And you're going to get picked apart every single time you try to play Vault like that. Going up against a squad in Minnesota who Ali said was number 1 on their attacks. They're great in the segments. They keep up in the slang. So it's going to be defenses versus offenses. Because Atlanta, at least, versus Miami, they showed improvements on their defensive end.
Which is impressive because Miami has been great at this map mode combination. So let's see. Will that hold for another day here for Atlanta? Already off the rip. 3 eliminations just to the 1 for Minnesota. And now, with that follow-up, Atlanta could really put the pressure on the map early. We're already just down to 60 seconds to fight.
Oh, Banero with a big opening kill onto Abizi. Now you can show a little presence over towards that pool area. Gotta work this overextension, but you also need to find a couple of kills. That's already 3 in the feed for Atlanta. Last player alive is Estriel. And he now just has to play his life, hoping that his team is going to find a couple kills out of spawn.
Yeah, Gio's able to clear out 1, but look at the rewrap here from Atlanta around the back. Yeah, Estriel's just got nowhere to go. He's going to have to make a decision here soon because he is being surrounded, and he will drop. So 3 in a row now for Draza. 5-1 start for the AR. Cell, SMG in hand. A little bit of a battle with Nero, but Atlanta are cleaning the floor up. I mean, we're talking about 5 total eliminations so far for Minnesota with only 30 seconds to play.
Yeah, they're just manipulating the game the way that they want to. You have Draza who's pushed out towards gold, influencing those spawns from Minnesota over towards poolside, forcing them to overextend, and you have every single angle cut off.
This is strong.
Even selling with an SMG is going to be able to get it done. There you go. My fantasy team is clicking today, baby. Atlanta FaZe are running it up.
I mean, 6 total kills for Minnesota. this is more like it if you're a FaZe fan. Just, I think in particular, watching them not overtake
Oh, that's
the map.
dirty.
They're just holding on to key power positions. Let Minnesota run into
That was
you.
dirty.
Don't try to force it, and it turns into a dominant first defense.
Just way too easy right there for Atlanta, and it makes it a lot easier when your break off is great too. You find 3 initial kills, you're allowed to take B straight away from them completely the entire time, force their spawns over towards waterside, and they just did not want to waste any time wrapping back to fight that player over towards gold, because not very successful to find success over towards B. But if Atlanta fans can trap you like this, yeah, you're not going to have a good time. Now can they figure it out in the attack, because this is where they tend to struggle.
Yeah. But that's a heck of a way to reset the momentum if you're Atlanta. Not deterred based on what we're seeing on the cams of Minnesota, still smiling, still talking it through. It's just one of those things that, again, it could sometimes be difficult to put a finger on what this Minnesota team really is doing right to find these wins. A lot of it, though, has been by ways of just outslaying their opponents on control in particular. But with a bit of a pause after the first offense essentially created nothing, now it's just down to can they put together a solid defense? And so far, the answer is yes. Sim's still on 4 and will be traded by Estriel. And Estraza gets figured out over towards the B zone. Everything resets. 26 plays 27.
What can Estriel get done? He knows that the pressure's going to already be on him. Tries to stall them with the nade. At least is able to find one. He gives the comps to Sims. They're slowly but surely working this overextension. You do have one player in Draza working the double door. So if you are Minnesota Rocker, camp your corners and try to find a couple kills, because you need 1 set of kills to put them in that trap.
Yeah. BZ just finessing, able to hop on in, put a little bit of pressure on towards A shots with Minnesota defense, starting to make some sort of action occur here. Nero down low, little finesse, little wiggle, little wag. Eventually taken down by Sim. The first tick of progress likely to be locked off of this. Draws will back up to make sure of it. Second now on the way with the trophy system to keep him safe. But Paul is able to find the first from this pinch, and he's able to take down a second. So Cell's now the last one left, empty from getting that second tick.
And so you just want to play your life, try to hold your mid hallway. Give some info to your team on the way when they're coming off spawn. But BZ opens up with the first. You have info already on 2 players. I don't know if you forgot about Estriel towards the point, but he didn't forget about you. He's able to make it count with a double. Draza gets traded, and Atlanta FaZe with only 25 seconds left. Only have 1 segment. You got to move.
It's going to have to be a flood likely from the front. Sip tries to dive in, taken care of. There is no secondary challenge there, but Atlanta actually catch a couple of the Rockers trying to push through that. Paul still holding on. He's on a double. Geo finalizes Celium, and with only 8 seconds remaining, unless Simp can do something incredible, this will likely be the end of this offensive attempt from FaZe. Trying to get the touch. Will be a chance. Simp holds it at 0.5, but no further action will occur. We'll stay through our first 2 rounds with only a single tick accrued by both of our 2 teams collectively.
I guess you would take that if you are Atlanta, because you were able to have that defensive shutout in round number 1, but just the way that they play their attacks is just way too fast sometimes, Alan. You cannot afford in control in general to lose 2 or 3 players at the same exact time, because then it makes it very difficult for everyone coming off the respawn, because as soon as you spawn up, you're going to know where that pressure is coming in, depending on where you are. And at that point, if you don't check the right corner, you're just wasting a lot of time on your way on in. They did have 1 opportunity to stack that point and earn those seconds, but just not watching the proper angles, nades come over the top, and then Minnesota did not give it up after that.
Yeah.
We're all tied up at 1. Atlanta back on the defense, but Minnesota, you need some segments. You're the #1 team for a reason. Show me why.
Ooh.
Well, tough, difficult gunfight right there between Abizi and Paul. That's the only kill, though, that FaZe were able to tally. Geo up and over, trying to track down Abizi, not able to slip away with his life, so quickly, Minnesota on for their first tick of progress, or at least that's the attempt. Is there a chance for FaZe to challenge us? Do they want to? They're setting up. There's the pop of the door. Estriel finds the first, Nero a second, and now you've got a chance to stack here for more.
Just like right there in that decision for Atlanta, it looked like they wanted to influence the spawns, but then contested very late. Like you had the number situation,
right now.
but instead of everyone challenging towards the point,
done.
you take long routes and you get picked apart. Now Minnesota able to extend the game clock.
They just threw 3 people
2
in there
minutes
at
and
once.
10 to work with, up by 2 lives. Keeping the game mixed is exactly how Minnesota want to play this.
Heroes able to find Draza through pool. That will now allow Rocker to keep their focus purely on the front. Difficult gunfight for Geo that Abizi wins. That now allows Atlanta to take control of B Street and beyond that. They've got Simp deep. You got Abizi re-wrapping back over through Vault, and the only route that Minnesota have available right now is to push through Palms, which is not what you want.
Oh, and Abizi catching that double is instantly going to shut down that play. Now, if you're Simp, you can just kick your feet up over towards goal, because all you're really doing is blocking those spawns to make it easier for your team. And Abizi said, screw that search of the strong. I'm more of a respawn guy, sitting at 15-9. Right alongside Drazu, 16-9 with the AR. They are bringing it on the slaying aspect on the defensive side. You just got to continue to do so.
Although, Gio, this is a great position for him to try to hold. He is deep through our teammates trying to stretch across the street side by statue, but Gio just cannot find the real estate to stay alive. Clock will pause. Minute 16 of the clock. Wait, Paul's able to find the kill on the cell. And with that, a follow-up onto Abizi. So a chance here for Nero to hold on to the zone. Estrel trying to zone. A chance for the first take at B to get locked, and it will. Follow-up for Minnesota. Still looking decent. Estrel back and forth. Oh! What set of shots those are for Estrel? Off 3. Second tick lock.
Oh,
3 members on. Nades are starting to land. Contest is in, though. Oh, my goodness. Atlanta have fought back and wiped the floor with a 9v9.
And now you got to slow the game down if you are Atlanta, but also don't give up the map control, because already Estrel is in towards Vault. With the minute left, a lot of time to work for Minnesota to develop on these long routes. But you want to try to stabilize
that nade
towards the
saved
street. Big
them
kill from
because they
Selling
got
to at
2
least
kills.
find
Yeah.
out. Easy watching the pinch. He actually whips out an Amos to hold down this angle. Love the heads up play.
Still plenty of time on the clock for both teams to work with. Here comes the development of Minnesota through B Street. Cell just giving them a workout. Lots of tags are in. Now trying to move forward. You know you cannot lose track of the zone. There was not depletion of the progress. Abizi off the pitch, though, saves the day.
Oh!
It's a 1v1 with Nero. Both players sliding back and forth.
Nice.
Oh, able to support at range. Now they can get on to pause the clock again, but a team nade comes through. Cell, he's been a hero in these moments before. Can he do it again? Nade is out. Contest is in. 3v3. Paul finds the opener. Simp with the response. He's able to take that into a second. A 1v1 with Nero. 30 seconds on the clock, but it's all about
Nero
who wins
fucked
the
it.
gunfight.
Oh.
And Simp cleans up the final 3.
That's scary because
Woo!
flipping.
No,
What
that,
a
they
heading
always
to that
fight.
round.
Yeah.
Minnesota made them work for it, and that only happens because Atlanta base started to turtle in their base a little bit. Allen, every single time you're coming off spawn, you gotta check your nade. You gotta check your sun because Minnesota are already in your face, but just trade after trade, nade after nade. Trophy system's not down at the right time, but the 1v1 Simp v Nero. The heroes for these teams recently. Simp with the regen. Stun is able to connect. You have the advantage and you commit on it. Able to clutch up on the round for
Don't know why he kept
Atlanta.
sliding
That
back
got
and forth,
scary.
though.
What is it with Simp on that side of the map? The 1v4 from a couple days ago. And now that's essentially a 1v3 control clutch. And Minnesota will still hold an edge, all things told, at least based on how the ticks have been captured. But look at the break off for FaZe. Right over towards the B zone. It's got Minnesota in a bit of disarray.
They went from being wiped
South
out
trying just
to
continue
them
to
getting
momentum on the
bumped
zone, but
to them
eventually
almost
the
getting
Minnesota's
flipping
defense
all of
now
them.
can set themselves
Yeah.
up.
You already wasted 20 seconds trying this
Crazy
push
how
over
this
towards
game
B,
works,
but
Mm.
at least you still keeping it up in the kill column.
So it goes to show you change up your
Blow for
tactic.
blow, but Salim now still holding down this B Street while the rest of the team is applying pressure through the mid. He's finding kill after kill, but that clock continues to wind down.
It's kind of puzzling. Like, Atlanta are still trying to throw numbers in some regard at this B point. We need 4 ticks of progress, otherwise we're gonna be in the round 5 offense again. 3 in the feed for Rocker. Abiz is the only one still alive. We still don't have a tick of progress yet, and there's not a lot of ground to work with here, J&A.
Yeah, because now they have to work out of their spawn and check every single corner because Minnesota players are already pushed up into your base. Thankfully, they're able to find that trade onto Gio. You gotta look here, where the hell everybody else is. Abizi has just been playing his life the entire time, dominating over towards top cap positioning, but now this is an opportunity for Atlanta with those 3 kills to stack this point. Don't give them away back in. Stack it.
Abizi, he knows that Gio is playing somewhere on the outside. Just comes down to where has he gone off to. Second tick of progress looking like a guarantee here, but here comes Minnesota for the reek attempt. It's going to be a pinch on both sides, plus the drop down for Balcony at the same time. Abizi still holding, but the kills for Minnesota are too strong. The clock will continue to tick. Abizi's the only one left standing. He's got to make a play, but he's going to get caught by surprise. Minnesota, everything in front of them. FaZe trapped in their spawn. Minnesota, if they can continue to keep this play alive, are going to have the round 5 defense that's looking likely for it.
Yeah, it's only 10 seconds left. Simp and Draza do combine for 2, though, so game clock is
Get
getting
round
pause
as
at A. But But Nera and Paul not trying to give that one up for free, but Atlanta Face find those kills, able to extend the game clock.
Not a great amount of lives
You just
left
need one segment to at least tie it up in that category, but Minnesota might not give you an opportunity.
And keep in mind how that first round went with Atlanta dominating Minnesota. If they get this final tick or this one tick they need at B, they would likely have the life lead on the tiebreaker scenario for who gets the round 5 defense. But
yeah, they would.
That is not at all an immediate concern at the moment. 12 plays 8, 45 seconds on the clock. Atlanta do have vault control and this back palm tree. Paul's doing the work, trying to tap the toes, taking care of trophies, Cell sliding, but cannot stay alive. First tick still empty.
5v11.
The thing is, they haven't even been clearing B.
They're already in your base. He's able to find one. No more respawns now for base. Has to be picture perfect from this moment on. Throw your stuns, throw your nades, try to find an initial kill. The slide on the point, but Gio, Estriel, the rest of Minnesota holding their irons and are able to stabilize on the defense and guarantee now themselves defense going into round 5.
We'll have to keep in mind
this is crazy.
That 4th round.
So they're defending again.
They probably took about a minute 20 just trying to play over towards B to get that first tick. It wasn't with Mitch like full focus. It was like a couple of players here, a couple of players there. Takes them a long time to eventually get back over to A. And the Rocker defense, that's when they come alive over the top of the B zone. So what Atlanta has struggled on in the control often just can be categorized as offense. It's been bottom 3 essentially in the league across all categories. They have to find a way to win a round 5 offense here if they want to try to go up 2-1. Otherwise, Rocker will be in their best series control position so far this year.
Yeah, we're going to need more teamwork out of Atlanta FaZe. None of this solo pushing up the B street, solo cap in, you getting picked off, losing full map control like that. Let's stack together in towards these points and trade out these gunfights effectively, and already into this round, they find 3 dead. So the first segment should be guaranteed as well as the second.
Gio just making sure no one pushes through that mid double doors position, and now gets up towards the top side of the balcony. Taken out immediately by Simp and a team nade. Keeps Atlanta largely away from stacking the VZ. Oh! The front door, huge double. And that will likely keep Rocker from putting a challenge together, though Estriel still tries it. He finds one. Hold on a second. They could still possibly contest, but a BZ on 4 in a row will get the extra 60. He's already over towards the B zone. Good tempo here from Atlanta.
Yeah, I love the transition.
Fucking FaZe doing bitch right now.
Yeah.
A trophy to try to keep a BZ alive, but we're trying to take away our Simp. Unfortunately, only able to find one there, but a BZ still finessing. Still showing a little bit of presence though over towards B Street, even with Minnesota stabilizing, but at least you do have a nice little lead in the kill column if you face.
Cell was in trouble, stays alive for a little while longer. Simp trying to hit a pincher on the backside through statue, not going to work out. On the zone is a BZ, down to 6 points of health. He gets taken out quickly. Estriel holding on to the vault door. That's good for a double, and then Cell, Simp, all drop. Here come Minnesota pushing back forward.
That's where Atlanta FaZe, again, another situation where it's cool for everybody to be watching the cut of one player to just pause the game clock, but if we have multiple players on it, we force Minnesota Rocker to play a lot quicker on that retake. They are taking their time, realizing how slow it's going. Somebody throw a stun, somebody throw a nade, eventually we're going to get that guy off.
So Estriel's got 2 pieces.
It's just easy for Minnesota off the retake scenario. Now you already have players like Nero pushing
31-28
forcing Atlanta FaZe to consistently sprint forward.
Yeah, but Nero is way out of this play, though, so the players from Minnesota from the front need to try to get some sort of a lock-in. Trades are out. Atlanta, they're going to get a little bit of a wrap here. Hold on a second. Nero's got to be a part of this play immediately. Finds the first. Long-range shots towards Simp are also good. Still, though, Atlanta trying to stay alive from the front, but unable to get much ground to work with. And that will be a moment of reset as Nero.
By the way, FaZe have had 2 minutes and 17 seconds to get beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
been over a minute already, and they've not gotten any ticks. And they're 4 lives down.
Atlanta only have 8 lives remaining. 2 more good pushes at this, and you still have to look.
Timing on that was terrible.
Thankfully, BZ takes care of him. But with only 45 seconds left, we have to try to develop this push. You have players going on the overextension. This might be it.
And I love this from Rocker. As soon as Nero drops,
oh shit!
He puts himself into a sneaky spot, and it's just no possible
that's
way
it.
that FaZe can get set up or structured. Now you're down to your last couple of lives. Estriel a bit greedy, punished, but still, you know where the hit is occurring, and now Nero's back around the flank once again. Paul through the van windows has got a look at a couple of FaZe.
There we go.
That's it. 1v8.
81.
Simp ain't doing that. Simp ain't doing no 1v8 fucking Clutch up.
Be right
No
back.
way. Be right back, boys. But yeah, a great start to Minnesota Rocker. 2-1 up already in game 3. Not bad.
Are gifting them it right on the silver platter. Like the fact that we're only getting, we found the initial 2 kills. We got 1 person soloing the point. I understand we have everybody with an AR, probably roaming around that middle map watching that cut, but if we stack these points a little bit better with the kills that we're getting, we're forcing the opposing team to play a lot quicker and not have to just slow down the decision making. Okay, it's going slow. I'll throw 1 stun, 1 nade. If that guy dies, we're good. Like Atlanta FaZe need to be more productive as a team on the attacking side, because it seems like once they give up the map control, it's like 1 or 2 players trying to fight for it back. Like they allow that other side of the map to completely not go into their favor or not even use it, and it keeps back to biting them. You got to start working as a team, or at least setting up plays as a unit to set up these pitches, because when you're consistently sprinting forward, you're getting trapped every time.
And legitimately, this is I think what you can look at to really kind of use a visual reinforcement to what you're saying, Jay. Look at the non-traded kill percentage for Minnesota. 20s across the board. And you got to keep in mind, because the first round was such a wash, that there really weren't any opportunities for non-traded kills to come through for Minnesota. So call it what it is. A lot of those numbers come in the back 4 rounds. And that is a crazy reference point when you talk about players that are 26, 27, 28 kills total, and 22, 23 of them are non-traded. It just goes to show that Minnesota continue to find this finesse game that Atlanta cannot keep up with, especially on the control.
They just making the game so much easier for them, Alan. We're talking about, you said it initially, like Nero eventually has to get into the play. He knew what he was doing. He was blocking back pool, so no one could work that overextension. So his ARs who were sitting in the top part around that front side of the van, they can be cooling it. They don't got to worry about their pitches. And then eventually he flanks it. He pushes out towards goal, catches that 2-piece. Then eventually sets up Atlanta FaZe and now spawn over towards pool. So they're in hell every single time they're coming off the result, because it's like, you know someone is in your base. You just cannot locate him. And then when you allow these SMGs to get lost, when you also even allow the ARs to get pushed into your base and get lost, it's just not going to be easy. And going forward, every single control that you play, Atlanta FaZe needs to get better in that aspect of just realizing, okay, we need to stop. We cannot continue to go forward. We got to take care of this guy out of our spawn and then work in sync to get out of it. So eventually we have team pushes going forward.
And it's just one of those things that, again, just based on how this map started in round 1, it looked like Atlanta had that pretty much locked in tap. I mean, everything was perfect. They weren't over-challenged. They were putting them in a bit of a spawn trap situation. You're forcing choke points. The offensive side never really kind of came to life, though, for Atlanta, and a lot of that, I think, was just really kind of showcased off of that round 4, where it's just time and time again, spawn after spawn, we're just trying to kind of create something at B. We're down 4 ticks. Let's just, you know, let's do the more normal thing, play over the top of A. But we have to transition. We could talk about that all day long. We need to start discussing how Red Card's about to play, though, here, Jay, because for both of these 2 squads, it hasn't really been a great map for either of them. It's usually been picked against them. They've, of course, allowed it to be in the pool, but the results have not been good for either team. What are you looking at here in terms of what this map 4 is going to provide?
Minnesota had some close games on Red Card. They lost a 250 to 240 versus LAT, where Envoy was able to be blessed with one of those stage spawns, and they were able to close it out at that hill when they thought they had him trapped in towards the back. And then their other loss was versus Boston, who I think is one of the best Red Card teams overall. Doesn't matter what map and mode it is, they're going to be one of the best teams at that map. So they have played them tight. But I think based off what we saw in map number 1 and what Atlanta FaZe are good at, even though they really didn't show it versus Miami, is those rotations. They suck so far at their setups. They're easily getting broken. But if you're Minnesota Rocker, you need to be the team to initiate those fundamentals. You need to be the team early on those proper setups so you can soak up this time, because Atlanta FaZe, they basically got a 100-point club last time they spawned in here.
Well, let's take a look here once more time here, just talking more about this Atlanta FaZe roster, because it does feel like this team has kind of turned a new leaf when it comes to how things have gone prior to the minor tournament versus what we're seeing so far throughout the day and really the weekend, I guess is a better way to put it. And in particular, a lot of that has come through in their hard points. Yeah, there was the embarrassing loss that they had faced against Carolina, but everything since then has been very, very comfortable, maybe with the only exception being when they played here against the Miami Heretics a couple of days ago. So what has been learned? How do we kind of get this Atlanta FaZe team ready to go? Because I'm glad that you brought up for Minnesota, yeah, they're 0-2, but that series they played versus Thieves on this map was one of the more dramatic comeback efforts that we have had to this point in the season. So you know for a fact that this Minnesota team, if they just don't start down 0 to 60, they can very easily dominate this map as well.
Yeah, right now they're definitely not going to start down. That's 2 back-to-back grueling maps that they were able to build the momentum off of going into this Red Card hard point. So Minnesota Rocker trying to move on to
As
the
we've
final.
seen from previous Rocket games,
Here at the minor chip
they always
Sunday,
do better
first
on
one
the
ever.
second
They're gonna not start
hard
off
point.
on at least the preferred side for this P1 because it's all about this head control.
Atlanta will own that for now. As battle over the top with Simp, which he loses. Pinstripe goes the kill feed. Final word, though, owned by Celium, and that will allow Atlanta to get right back into position, and more so. That's not even just in position. They're starting to get aggressive on this with opening time going their way.
All right, let's get it. Red card, hard point, first time.
Come out. Guns blazing, though.
Yeah.
That's why you see it BZ. Everybody basically running an AR initially to start this game because you need this hedge control. And so far, they're finding all the kills to dominate this side of the map, but they still have not yet been able to secure the spawn. They got 30 seconds off a P1. You'll take that.
Yeah, 100% you will. And we still got a couple of players stringing together eliminations. This feels like your normal Minnesota start. A little bit slow, a little bit rocky. Nice little bounce back here, though, cleaning up the old time and having a chance with Paul spawning relatively close to put some contest in early. Draza already in trouble. Here comes the push out. Wow, what a gunfight win from Draza. Plus the read on the backside, but the pinch is in. Abizi dropping from the top ropes. He's able to turn that into a double, and it's a 2v4 with Celium getting involved for Atlanta to secure their break.
Yeah, and this is picture perfect because now you have Minnesota trapped into the backside of this hard point. This is not the ideal situation you want to be in, but they somehow, some way are able to find 3 kills. Now with BZ, he was thinking I should be able to get a couple freebies, not really soak the hell time, but now you got to do both. Find a couple kills and try to work your way into the objective. Not able to take down Nara, but at least keep Minnesota off of that time for a little bit.
It kind of feels like 6 of 1, half a dozen for that overall hard point. Like Atlanta, they get that nice little surround. You have a BZ jumping on it. They get the clean kills, but really they don't get a ton of time off of that. So yeah, Minnesota are still sitting on just 16 points, but that could have been a lot worse as both teams will now fight for rotation. Atlanta the first one in the hill, but Minnesota working on some spawn control, and they're finding the timings to open up some of the space to rescue.
And trying to show presence over towards the staircase side. Geo effective on the chain.
Geo,
Geo
nice.
effective on 3 in a row.
Geo's getting them kills, getting them very...
And if you're Atlanta FaZe, you will take that because you bombard your way on in, use your stun grenades, and find a couple kills to open up this play. That's going to make it a lot easier to trap them in towards the back for the rotation to new.
Yeah, the SFGs for Minnesota just not able to stay alive in these tight corners, just trying to play this contact through staircase, not working out all that well. 10 and 3 from Abizi. He is flying and frying right now. Until that moment. Trade is out. Cell's able to find 3 off the regen. He's looking for more. Not going to be allowed to get it as Draza will finish off Paul X, and this will be a 70-point game early for Atlanta, rotating over to New.
And now this game can start to get out of hand a little bit because P4 on this map for some reason tends to be a money hill. Especially when you got Minnesota trapped in toward the backside of Eskies. This is not fun that they're currently having. Now Atlanta FaZe again win another rotation over towards New. Celium is going to be the farthest player pushed up and fall. So Minnesota just need to find another couple of kills to even cross over towards the stage.
Yeah, really good moment there from Cell, not only because he finds a lot of kills, but he actually spawns right back up into place. But Minnesota, even with that in mind, they don't drop a single member on their break. I mean, Atlanta was in a perfect spot. Cell spawned up, looked like he was able to watch across, but Minnesota barely even got shot back against, and now all of a sudden they've got a critical break early in this hard point.
And that's been a struggle. At least the one time we watched Atlanta FaZe play on this map is their setup easily broken into.
What was that?
Yeah, what the fuck
Minnesota
happened
showed
there?
why right there. As this was supposed to be an 100-point difference, now it's only going to be a 50-point difference. As Minnesota walk away with that final 30, you force Atlanta FaZe early off the rotation. Astrio on 4 in a row. Just trying to keep themselves into this game, but P5 tends to be super scrappy. You need 2 wave of kills before you can even hop in the objective.
And Gio got to read that there was still a play over towards Eski's side. Estriel at ticket. Nice shots on Draza through the wall. Knowing that this is Cell last alive. Good prediction from Estriel. Shots are out. Nero there for the help. And the break already in once again. Nero on 6, overwhelmed as Atlanta will just charge up the escalators and now try to make their play over towards Gio, who's doing a nice job. Again, just holding on to this ticket position. It's keeping Atlanta back pretty decently, and the follow-up is absolutely perfect for Rocker. Still 30 seconds to fight.
And they have all their bases covered, and they have aggressive angles at that, so Atlanta FaZe are just not
Estru on a 7 spree right now.
Feel like all of Minnesota just flipped the switch.
Yeah,
so
they just flipped the switch. They're
right
fucking...
back into this game. Should only be about a 10 to 15 second difference if they soak up this final remaining time, but Atlanta FaZe, when I thought that they were going to start pulling away, just simply getting outclassed by the setups up Rocker.
I I mean, it's another one of those rotations that you can just throw the spark note on it. Atlanta won every single rotation. Yeah. But Minnesota continues to find these miracle breaks. At least that's how it feels. 1v1 goes your direction, all of a sudden everyone floods, you find every single kill, and you only have a 20, 30-point game-ish. Atlanta, though, back over the top of P1. Just like we started, back and forth. Kills for either direction. This time, though, Nero off the regen. Trying to follow up, but Celium, a little bit of timing off the pitch, turns the tides, and Atlanta will clean things up with a chance to still fight over the top of P1.
They're still trying to fight for these spawns. They want to maintain this backside. It's currently in favor of Atlanta right now, but you see the route being developed out of Estriel. He's going to allow his teammate NGO to spawn over towards Hedges, but Simp is able to pick on up. It's looking like Atlanta have everything figured out. They understood the situation, at least the 3 dead. Them soaking up all this P1 time again. This is their money hill, and it tends to not be like that on a map like Red Card.
No, for real. That's so true. So again, Atlanta continues to find ways to build up this lead. Nero playing through street side. Abizi, tough battle with Paul. Takes the win, and now Abizi off the region has Nero in his sights. Not enough ammunition to finish the kill, but Nero's got nowhere to go. And with that, Atlanta will swarm. Split spawn situation here, though, for Minnesota. Do they find a way to try to set this up as a advantage? Does not look to be so. Draza's already ready for this Minnesota back spawn.
And this is where I expect it to be a lot cleaner of a setup here for Atlanta FaZe. You have every player accounted for. You had them in the trap. And the entire kill feed is lighting up red.
Yeah, looks like I might be going to a game 5. I mean, you can't let off Minnesota Rockers right now, but
Minnesota need a money hill badly. You can't just let this last 20 go, though. That's the problem. The timing of this is not going to feel great for Rocker, because Atlanta, with this steep lead, 100 points, can just play from the advantage. They can just give this up, play slow, long routes, and get paid for it. That's exactly what's occurring. Sim, top Hedges, knows he's got Estrel somewhere in the vicinity, finds him, and it's 3 straight kills for FaZe. Moving over towards the parking lot, they will get over 200 points here.
And they already got to read that there's definitely going to be a split spawn here, because we still have players like Draza pushed out towards old hardpoint. Trying to get a couple freebies through the front end, but Atlanta's still up by 100. They can play it any way that they want to. Already forward.
Why leave that?
You have Draza blocking the spawns, and again, Minnesota Rocker trapped him towards the back.
Yeah, this is just a blender right now for Rocker. Sim's got Nero weak, easy follow-up the turn. Oh, maybe would have had the burn, but ran out of ammunition. It's enough damage, though, for Cell to get to work. And the lead stays at about 100 points. Minnesota finding some favor on the hill itself, though. Problem is, Draza's over the top. Follow-up from Sim feels likely. And it will be. So again, it's just extra seconds here and there for Atlanta. The new hard point spawning to their backs, and they could try to put the game away here.
Yeah, this was the hard point, though, that Minnesota found that early break to keep themselves into the game last go-around. So can they do it again? They just need a couple kills to go their way, and the entire kill feed is the opposite color than they were looking for. So now Atlanta FaZe fully set up here to try to close out the game.
So I'm going to a game 5.
Best that we've seen Atlanta, I think, this on the weekend in terms of how their hard points been. Again, just not losing rotations. Couple of weird moments here and there, but for the most part, this has been as convincing as we've seen. Paul down low with the pistol, that will work. Abizi just trying to get to work on the wall bank. Minnesota will confirm the break from the front, so this hard point continues to be a bit of an issue for FaZe, but still, the gap is over 90 points, and it just feels unlikely that Minnesota pulled this all the way back.
Yeah, nice, because they have to play for the hill time and find the kills. Atlanta can just slow the game down and isolate all these players. That turns to 3 dead. Last player is going to be Paul Lex. He's still managing to stay alive, but the wall bank's good enough. Well, at least take him out the time for now. Still, Minnesota trying to keep themselves into the game. Still a 70-point difference. They do find a couple kills off the rotation, and we saw last go-around, Atlanta FaZe were easily broken into this P5 as well.
Problem is, you've got a couple of FaZe members that are just kind of playing on these islands that are going to be difficult to convincingly win out if you're Minnesota. So far, so good on the hill itself, though. But now Draza, off this off angle, gets involved, helps out Sim for his double. Minnesota fighting back, though. Hold the numbers advantage over the top of the hill. Stays open for the time being. Draza traded. Long-range shots for Simp are good as the ARs are fully out for Atlanta, and now they've got numbers to start making the play for the hill.
And so many kills need to happen for someone to even think about that objective. It's been non-stop white time for about 30 seconds so far here at P5. And you will absolutely take that if you are Atlanta.
Yep.
After Minnesota with that double, you need to work your way in. AR shooting left and right. Here comes the pin from Sim.
Oh, that's horrible.
Plays with his move, but is able to find the kill. But Minnesota Minnesota again keeping it scrappy. Only going to be down 50.
That's a nice wipe on the scrap time as well, so now you can take all of your focus over towards New, which they are finding the eliminations that they need. Hold on a second. We've seen heroics from Rocker on this map before. Can they do it again? They're going to lose the hedges, but they're finding the kills at a prime time to see how Rocker are coming to see if they can pull this back.
You didn't tell you. He might get him a globe. You have globe. I'm trying to get it. I'll watch that. I'll do the globe. I'll get time. I have time. Our globe, boys. Our globe. I need their door. I'm laying down door. One shot globe. Okay, I'm playing. I'm playing. They're double door. They're double door. They're double door. They're doubles. Last guy. Or you can't draw their globe. They're deep down window.
Are they both spawning right there?
I don't see him, bro. You might push that ticket. I'm trying to get time. I got ticket. One shot left. One shot ticket. Top three, mid. One shot A. Alright, we're good. One with their head. I'll try to finish it. Come right ahead. Middle south. Outside the ticket. One middle. I don't see you got time.
Oh, fucking Rocker have made this game playable. They brought it back.
Win flag. I paid in flag. I'm trying to get that one there. He jumped out of time. He's buying hot dog. BZ one. BZ one. He was buying hot dog. That's your shit. There goes one front. Close under.
Running out of time, Jay, but they're making a hell of an effort at it. Minnesota's going to stabilize here. Nero up top tries to clear out the front. 242, 208. Atlanta trying to break on through, and it's Draza for 3. That will likely do it. One more effort around the back. The finesse is decent, but regardless of the status on this hill, Atlanta's spawning close to the next, so Minnesota need to wipe the floor. They need to do so right now.
Yeah, they need to go quick, because like you said, Atlanta fans are going to have the spawns over towards next. They are finding kills off the rotation.
That's it.
They only need
there you go again.
It's going to be on Nero, and he falls, and that is going to be
that was close
Game
again.
5.
That was close
and they
again.
Yeah.
But for them to go from 100-point difference, it was what, 190 to 90? Or like 180 to 190 to 90 or something.
No, it was 190 to 98 or something.
And they brought it back to that close. It's like crazy.
From back before the holiday break, where it's just like nothing is going right. You're losing every single rotation, but you're finding these cheeky breaks. It turns into one like 40-second hill for you. Gives you some extra lease on life, but the problem was, and you're going to see it, you could build a Walmart between a lot of this game flow chart that we're likely going to see early, because Atlanta FaZe were up 100+ points for the majority of that game.
And it tends to be like that when you talk about Minnesota Rocker and their hardpoint game. They go by
Super
100,
played well.
Come back to give it a grueler ending to that game, but just you can't have starts like
even
that.
Even a BZ game,
another
15
where
assists.
simply getting outclassed
32
in the
kills.
rotation aspect. We put ourselves in a power position in some of these situations. We're probably going to stand a better chance, especially when you got towards the end right there. You're finding kills around that middle map. You want to dominate over towards head, but then you allow Atlanta FaZe with the lead that they have to just play for those kills. That's why you take a look at the game flow, and it just started getting out of hand. Even when you thought Minnesota would get back into the game, because P5 for some reason was a money hill for them, which just tends to be very, very scrappy. But everything else, Atlanta FaZe just dominated, man. Just holding down the power position, a lot easier of those gunfights, and now they're able to force the game 5.
Jay, you can see it right here on Atlanta's side of the chart. From 105 to 110 the first time we were at P5, and then no points at all the second time that we were there. So Minnesota doing a nice job in terms of the efficiency metrics, but only on that hill. That's the only bit of a downside there. The only other side, and you already kind of hit on this, you want to talk about efficiency metrics. Perfect has been the name of the game so far for Minnesota in Game 5. They have not dropped one yet. A couple of them have been in reverse sweep fashion. We'll see what they can provide for us on a very difficult map for them. Protocol Surge, the map number 5 here in our first upper bracket semis in our Minor 1 tournament. Atlanta FaZe trying to get to the grand finals. Minnesota trying to surprise the world to do the same. We'll find out who punches their ticket after we come back after the break.
The Esports World Cup is an official partner of the Call of Duty League. Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
what's crazy as well?
Yeah.
What's crazy as well was that so they're on like game 5 now, yeah?
Yeah.
So they're like running behind technically. They're actually, like, the next game's not meant to start until 9:30 anyway. So imagine they actually didn't go to a game 5. It would have been ahead of schedule, which would have made my life a lot fucking easier.
Of course, they just don't want you to be ahead of schedule though.
No, yeah, they don't want my life to be easier. But also, we'll finally get to see if the finals
The
is
next game
7
will
games.
start by, I think they're running about 15 minutes behind.
Yeah.
The next game will start about 9:45.
And then Optic will do me a favour, win 3-0, and then go to the final and win 4-0, and then I still get to go to bed by
So we still don't know. We still don't know if it's like a best of 5 or best of 7.
Yeah, because it's first minor we're seeing, innit? This is the one where it's like I would like it to be a best of 7, because it's just, it feels nice, like, because you know it's final. But I'd also like it to be a best of 5, just because I got work in the morning.
Yeah. And I've been super tired and not well. Well, we both haven't been well, but.
One shot. There's two water. They were red. They were red, Clay. Yeah, they went red. Both inside red. Both inside red. They went front door. He's hopping. Watch the water. I have your word. Back door. They didn't see you yet. Nice! Let's go, Clay! Yes, sir.
To make the play. It's been all about him all tournament long. It can come down to a 1v1. They're going to pounce out 0-4. Great damage in. It's going to be all in 0-4. They drop them. Lucky with both. Fickle is roaring and Heretics win it.
Babe, can you pass me Dylan's thing? Money box.
Skies dies, and then in a 3v4, effectively, New York Subminer slid on through.
Oh my god. Map 5 affair for our first semifinals.
I'll put that pound in there as well, babe.
1, Atlanta FaZe, Minnesota Rocker. And you say the words Minnesota Rocker, and I think now we can just sub out.
Alright, let's get it, boys.
Map 5. It just feels like we're always gonna get there. So far, Jay, it has been flawless for them, though. 6 total series played. All 4 of their wins have happened in map 5s. Talk to me.
These guys are icy, man. It's as simple as that. The fact that they tend to usually spawning into a series down 0-2, and then they got to try to complete a reverse sweep or at least go all the way to the distance. These guys are unbelievable when they get here. You can see it, 4-0 on your screen. Ranks number 1, 1.15 team KD with 51% opening dual win percentage. I think that's the biggest focus of the stats that I'm going to be looking at. Because in map number 2, out of the 10 rounds that we played, Minnesota found 8 of those first bloods. If you allow that to happen with the way that they play after they find that kill, which is non-stop teamwork, you're simply not going to play to your advantages every single time if you're Atlanta. So you cannot allow that category to get away from you.
Let's see what's going.
We know these gunfights can go down in the first 5-10 seconds.
And look, it's not just the fact that Minnesota had 8 of the first bloods. 5 of them were tallied against the BZ, who only had 2 eliminations in the 10 rounds that we played the first time through. But that feels like an eternity ago, especially considering how BZ's really turned up. He had a great map 3, obviously solid there in the map 4 as well. So just comes down to shaking that off and doing what we know he does best in this protocol search, because like you mentioned, we're expecting a lot of drop downs through elevator, a lot of battles early and often in towards this bottom bomb site. Just comes down to who wins out in those opening trades, as we'll see Atlanta on the opening offense.
Well, their initial play call to just take away bottom comms from
that works.
Top B2 play, and BZ just slides on in. He's able to catch a double, already off to a better start in this map than he did in the map number 2, but in the 3v2, Atlanta have the numbers. Bomb goes down. Hold your setup.
Yeah. Really good execution and just good game plan decisioning right there from Atlanta. As soon as you get the contact, you get a BZ on the pinch. Nearly goes for the ace. He actually does hit a shot midair versus Geo there, but instead A chance for Gio to 1v3. He sees the shoulder of Celia. Does he catch him on the jump up top PCs? Unsure on where Simp is positioned, but you can definitely feel he's leaning over towards the elevator. He almost gets the slide timing
He guessed
on it.
right as
Not
well.
to happen. The 3 kills for BZ, too strong to the opener.
Yeah, and a great initial play call right there from Atlanta FaZe to realize, okay, there's no presence over towards P2 side. I'm going to drop down that big door. We should have a couple freebies if they try to be the aggressive in towards A.
Because he knew where Celian was, so it's like, let me try find.
Yeah, because he could have killed him, went up the zip line, the elevator, and then just he could have gone down mid. He could have gone anywhere because he still had time anyway. So he did the right thing.
Into there, just using their information, dropping into the sites, playing their numbers, take round 1.
Yeah, nice little cheeky again. Contact play. Wait for the players at elevator to get the info. Let it be easy pops. What does Minnesota have in store for us for their first offense? 3-player drop down for FaZe in towards A, and it's Draza up top by himself on the windows to take first blood. Bomb is still in hand for Estriel, but Minnesota have no map control now.
They have no map control. Now what you're sort of banking on if you are Minnesota is if Atlanta FaZe start to back up a little bit and play their numbers advantage and hopefully give up that A site. So that might be your only opportunity to clutch up on this round. You do have Gio who gains info onto Draza, but throwing shoulders, Draza's just going to play his life.
You also think if they know where Draza is, Draza knows where he is. So
this would need to land. Cell stuck in the corner, but the nade doesn't quite get through the doorway. Neither does that one. Wow, this FaZe defense was vulnerable here, but it doesn't make a difference. The shots are out, the nades don't land, and Paul's now by himself for 1v3.
Now Paul 1v3, bomb down in towards the site. Gonna work his way through barrels. Doesn't really have a lot of time to work with. But he's taken down by Draza. That round starts with Draza finding that first blood. It ends with Draza finding that final kill. And that's exactly how you need to play it if you are Atlanta. Just back up, play your numbers, find that early first blood, play to your advantages. And then when Minnesota thought that they had an opportunity, when Atlanta started to back up off of their setup at that A site, I think it might have really came down to that frag. Like, if that frag is able to connect onto Celium, they'll both be one shot. You can't fully commit on the gunfight if you're Simp. And potentially an opportunity there for Rocker, but doesn't connect, and Atlanta take the round.
Yeah, I don't even think it's just one. I think there's 2 frags that bounce off the wall. Don't quite get all the way to that position that Simp and Cell were at. So FaZe will be up 2-0. Different look here. Opening nade lands onto Simp, the bomb carrier. Cell will counteract with the opening first blood for Atlanta. So we get an early 3v3, but the bomb down. Atlanta are going to have to take a moment to just recollect themselves.
Yeah, it was both teams right there realizing, okay, someone's got a first blood on that end. Okay, you got a first blood on our top windows. We got to back up and play safe at B. Or we can now, if you're Atlanta FaZe, start to rotate your way back onto the spawn. And that's exactly what happens. Now in a 2v1. Narrow force to clutch on up. Don't put it past him, though, Alan.
Yeah, and this is a good read from Nero. Knowing that Atlanta has Draza playing deep towards the backside of tower, he knows he can get behind this FaZe setup. The timing, though, is not great. Yeah, I mean, he would have maybe had an angle at Cell, but Draza was tracking behind him, and Draza will find 3. I love the idea from Minnesota there to try to double push out. It just comes down to the simple fact that Draza's holding a heady on that same angle.
Yeah, and that's just a good read out of Atlanta. They realize, okay, we're going to be aggressive over towards gun, try to allow us to work over towards that B site. No presence over towards tower. Most likely somebody from Minnesota Rocker is going to try to take that away from us and work a deep pinch, but they time it perfectly. The double stack, the teamwork on display. And Draza having a takeover so far in this map number 5. Is now Atlanta sitting on 3 in a row. Draza on 5 in a row. Here comes the RC to slow this game down even more.
I was just about to say the RCB earned this early. Gives some major advantages to FaZe, but Minnesota going to go with tempo instead. Nade stuns, block off Spiral. They're going to get the early plant. So it's going to have to be retake here from FaZe. And you got to keep in mind that Simp is not a part of this at the moment. So you got to try to find some sort of an opener here for FaZe.
Yeah, retakes for FaZe last time they played versus Carolina. Didn't really work out at all. Have they fixed their setups? And it's looking like they're just waiting for front side pressure before Draza decides to make a play here. He's hoping he can at least pull the play from Minnesota Rocker on the opposite side.
Yep. Yeah, Draza can't be the first one to act, and he will not be. Paul still holding the angle, finds the kill. Simp, though, gets activated. He's off 2 in a row. Off the regen as well. Nearly chances at more, but Paul holds the position through the elevator shaft. And that'll be enough for Minnesota on their post plant to hold strong, dropping 2 in the process.
And that's why it tends to bother me a little bit when people start to play around RC cars for some of these rounds, because we realize we're playing protocol. We realize the RC car is not really going to be impactful in towards bottom comms. And when you use it to clear out over towards B side to make sure the aggression was going to be there, you give up all that site control. BZ's forced to back on down, and then the 4v4 recap in towards that kind of site is very difficult to do regardless of who you are. So Minnesota Rocker able to put one on the board. Back to the defensive side they go, and then right now FaZe are just throwing a bunch of different looks at them. Now they're going all down towards B. I mean, A.
Yeah, with the trophy system, and they're going to try to just run right through Spiral here. Whoa, and Nero, he does catch one before dropping. Let's say, hello, read it. Whoa, nice shots from Abizi. Bomb planted simultaneously, 2v3.
Another difficult retake now for Rocker. Again, left on the AR players playing over towards Big Door. Paul Lex potentially might have found the timing as he's already in towards the building.
Yeah.
He's finessing.
Yeah, he's found the first. The shots to Draza were decent, but could not quite finish. Gio stays sneaky, finds Abizi. Now on to Draza for the 1v2. Time running out, has to make a play. Sees Draza on the cross. Still holding him with the shoulder. Draza knows he's got the benefit of the clock, though, and this is going to run out on Gio. Yeah, not quite able to force the gunfight. Does find the kill, but it comes too late to allow for a defuse. Atlanta will get their fourth.
And that's Draza again, another 1v1 moment. I would have liked to see if Gio would have went to the bomb site to force Draza to overextend out of that zip, but every time he was throwing his shoulder, just gaining that info, time was getting away from you. And he's able to clutch up another round. Atlanta FaZe again, complete blind counter. We're talking about round number 1 on attacks. We attack through plat to get into the comp. Round number 2, we're going right through top mid. Round number 3, everybody through bottom zip. And Minnesota are looking like we sent everybody towards Big Door to try to contest it, but just were not prepared for the aggression coming in from FaZe.
Yep. And from Abizi in particular. Another 2 from him in the round. He has turned it around since map number 2. Quick action here from Rocker. Opening shots, though, go the way of Sellium. The slide through for FaZe actually gets them onto the bomb site, and Cell's not done. He gets a second. Estro completely crossed up as Abizi goes from left to right. Nero, he's stuck. He will get one and get away with the zip. No one's going to chase him, but the job's pretty much done, you would feel like, for FaZe 3v1. Just do not get rid of this bomb that you have in your sight.
Oh, if they lose this, they need to disband this roster. It'll be an impossible task to try to lose this kind of round. Bomb down in towards A. You already gained info on where Nero was. And he has to work in to kill all 3 of you. Yeah, this stands no chance, Alan. 5-1.
Slide out decent, but yeah, there's no way, no how. And that just simply put is at 4v4, bottom side at A, it's Cell getting 2 as both the SMGs slide past him. It's clean shots.
And Minnesota right there, they were thinking, Alan, that Atlanta FaZe are probably going to go with that slow approach again. You find yourself up 4-1, you can tend to slow down the pacing of the game a little bit because you don't want to try to make any mistakes. But they said, screw that. We're going to take that bomb side away from you because that's been the only round you've been able to find success in. So instantly shut it down. Another first blood on the back of Atlanta FaZe now puts them at game point.
It's been clean. It's been polished. This looks like the same thing Atlanta did in their first round. But Abizi's got an AR this time. Nade stuns right into the face of Draza in front of Abizi, but all 4 members will stay alive. Bomb carrier of Simp playing down low has also been naded, so he has to hold for a moment, and this is a chance for Rocker to get this defense moving.
Another different look from Atlanta FaZe on this attack. Everyone preparing for the aggression coming in out of Rocker, but that stun and that nade should be able to connect onto Estriel. They already have bottom comms control, so it's only a matter of time before Simps thinks about this plan.
Shots from the mid of Spiral, though. Paul's able to find Abizi. Simps tagged again. He can't go for the plan. And Minnesota have not taken more than they can chew. Wait a second, that is not a great timing on the challenge. Nero off the pinch from Door at least saves it, kind of. And oh, there we go, finally. Gets the second, but initially that slide out from Estriel was just a little bit too long. You thought maybe Atlanta was going to benefit from it, but Minnesota, good timing on the pinch from behind, suffocate the Atlanta offense and keep themselves alive.
Yeah, even with Sim finding that double, I still respect the timing on the chow out of Minnesota. They wanted to play to their advantages. They knew that they were already showing presence towards sides, so they said, screw it. We have 4, you have 3. Let's chow, let's chow, let's chow. And thankfully, it was able to work out with Nero catching that double, do double doors. Now they're able to stay alive into the search and destroy. But on the attacks is where they have tended to struggle a little bit. They've only found success with the aggression in towards A, but the Minnesota Rocker, the adjustments need to come in quick.
Nero tagged up heavily. Yeah, that's where you're worried about. Actually, it's just wall bangs through the gun. Adraza confirms first blood. Follow up from Simp around the back. Trying to put this round out of reach. Not quite able to confirm the kill. Hold on a second. Ezreal is around the back. And what a win versus Celium. I was about to say, I don't think Cell saw him initially. So now we got a 2v2. aBeZy re-wrapping back in towards Adraza nearby. And aBeZy may know that Ezreal's on the corner. There's the stun out. The follow-up is perfect. It's just down to Paul. 1v2 situation. And he's stuck in a corner with an AR. First shots are good. Looks for the second, but cannot keep himself alive. Atlanta dominate map number 5 and punch a ticket to our first minor grand finals.
Just a mid-round adjustment, Salem. Way too strong on the side of Atlanta. Minnesota were not prepared for it. Multiple different looks on their attacking side. Multiple different looks on the defensive side. They just were not prepared for all of Atlanta to take away top mid away from them. You were trying to be the aggressor on that side because you realized they just shut you down working your way in towards A. So it was trying something different, but Atlanta were perfectly there to counter it. We're talking about that first map where Minnesota were able to find 8 out of 10 rounds first blood. This time Atlanta FaZe turned it completely around. They walk away with 5. And Draza was the early guy for Atlanta FaZe who was really setting the tone with multiple kills, closing out moments. And Atlanta FaZe, they close out the series in 5.
What a series it was, though. Hell of an effort for Minnesota throughout it. I think in particular, you look at the 2 hard points and you say both of them were winnable. It just came down to the simple fact that Protocol, they were not rotating as well as FaZe were. FaZe were able to adapt, get a couple of key holds by the end, Celium in particular, kind of the hero there between P3 and P4. And then the red card, it was a 100-point game 2 separate times in favor of FaZe. So it's just the clock runs out and the comeback effort for Minnesota. So can't quite keep the magic alive, Jay, but that's a hell of a first opener minor, especially for this Minnesota Rocker team that I still feel like is hard to put a finger on. Where do they really fall in terms of like a power ranking?
Yeah, because right now it's pretty simple. Like their hardpoint game, they just need to think about those fundamentals. In Search and Destroy, they just need to stop getting countered because right there, that's 2 times now we watched them on Protocol. Toronto did it yesterday. Today, Atlanta FaZe did it. They just were prepared for everything that was going to be thrown at them, and they countered it perfectly every time.
Well, it was a tight one from pretty much start to finish all the way through as we head back to the desk to recap and set us up for our second semifinal.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And Nameless, I'm sorry, but Minnesota's run had to come to an end. We were clinching for a little bit there as it goes all the way to a game 5. But this time around, Atlanta FaZe, they get it done in just 8 rounds.
Yeah, and we get to that game 5, and, you know, we were talking about how good Minnesota's been in those game 5s, making adjustments. It's a bang-out, down-low computer sometimes. It just is what it is, and, you know, in this map, Atlanta FaZe, they just were better. I mean, they're finding the trades. We kick things off with a big aBeZy double. A couple rounds later, he gets another double. They just had no answer for it. And in all the clutches, you know, where it's 2v2s, 2v1s, like, they're just losing them down there. Just positioning, getting out-positioned, outgunned by computers.
Ali, you saw that 5-1 start from Draza. He goes on to lead the lobby in damage for game 5. But who do you think deserves the MVP honor for the entirety of this series?
Ooh, the entirety of this series is a tough one. I want to lean towards giving it to aBeZy, but I really do want to tip what Draza has done as well, because the ARs are the biggest focus for Atlanta FaZe right now. They have been the biggest struggle, but I think Abe in the past 2 days has just been unreal. I have to give it to him.
Seemed that the slaying was pretty even, Nameless, but Atlanta FaZe a slight advantage, and they definitely showed that throughout the hard points. 250 to 227, 250 to 214. How many teams will compete at this level with Atlanta FaZe when it comes to that game mode?
I mean, I think right now there's a lot of parity. I can think of like 5 off the top of my head. I mean, we obviously got 2 coming up that are definitely there that can beat Atlanta FaZe, and I think LA Thieves will get their heads on straight here soon as well. But I mean, even when I look at those hard points, like Minnesota just getting out-rotated, the fundamentals just weren't there, and they're still keeping it very close. I'm going to give a shout-out to Ezreal today. He played incredibly well. A lot of moments. The control was awesome between him and Nero. But yeah, I mean, I think that they lost the pick and bans in this one, Chris. The protocols. FaZe are the best protocol team in the game right now. You got to get rid of it against them.
Who is Ezreal? Go back and watch game 2 from this best of 5 and his performance in their first matchup. For now, though, we have to celebrate in Atlanta with Mr. Celium. He earns your scuff play of the game, and honestly, I just asked for a montage. I was like, Celium is frying once again. The beam is back. Ali, he took care of business in the hard points game 1 and 4.
He did take care of business in the games 1 and 4. And the thing is how important this map 1 really was, because there was an opportunity here for Minnesota to finally win a map 1 and go up early in the series. You think they take that only a 20-point difference, and they take that map number 3. This series would have gone much different. Shout out to Celium, big turnaround from him as well. I'm hoping to see him top the KD leaderboards again soon.
That is Celian from Atlanta. Flip FaZe with your Scuff play of the game. But joining us live from FaZe is Draza. Draza, welcome to the winner's circle. How we feeling? This has been a nice 3-match run so far.
Yeah, I mean, we're feeling good. Obviously, a close game like that, or a close series like that, winning that was super nice. And they were 4-0 in Game 5s, and we just showed up and played better.
Draza, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your opponents in this series. Where do you think Minnesota Rocker kind of sit in the league? And on the flip side, where do you think you guys sit right now?
I think we're the best team in the game right now, to be honest. And I also think Minnesota is probably the 5th, maybe 4th, depending on how their S&D is. I feel like their S&D is what's keeping them in the series. And they're actually not bad at control either, so I feel like they've actually been showing up a lot.
I wanted to cut you off 7 times there. Sorry, Draza. Who do they bump out of the top 5 or top 4? Who do you have right there in your list?
Honestly, I don't even know. I just think they're around.
I tried to put them
I think they can kind of beat anyone.
All right.
Yeah.
Jaws, I want to ask you guys, you know, at the end of last year, something clicked and you guys were able to take the EWC trophy. What needs to click for you guys to take Major 1? Because when I look at the league and look at all these teams, it looks like everybody's so close, the top 4 teams. So how do you get above and beyond all of them?
I think just keep grinding like we are. I feel like we had a bad start, obviously, and we kept grinding. I feel like people who got wins got complacent already, and just keep grinding, keep having fun, and just believe in ourselves. I feel like the confidence we're playing at, even when we played this series not as well, we're still fully confident to win it, and that's what we did.
Nice.
Do you have any thoughts on Skyline for Spencer?
Nope.
All right, good answers across the board. That is my man Draza. You will see him a little bit later in our first minor final.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. All right, so we didn't see a whole lot of Skyline yet today. We might see it in this next matchup. Optic is going to be playing Carolina. We've had a great weekend so far, and it continues in just a few moments. Nameless, what's the story of the week for you, though?
I think Minnesota is still the story of the week. I mean, a couple huge upsets. I mean, look at their series. Game 5, Game 5, Game 5. It's an absolute beastly team.
Alley Cat, we got another Game 5 coming?
Ooh, we better. It's going to be a semifinal heading into the final. We have to have another.
We already had 1. Let's just do 2, 3. 3 today? Let's do 3. We'll be back with that second one after this.
Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Esports World Cup is an official partner of the Call of Duty League.
Sorry about that, guys. We'll be back with you in a bit.
Yeah, I got a phone call about work, so I had to deal with that, and still semi-dealing with it, just talking to the wife at the moment, but we'll definitely be on before this game starts. Optic vs Carolina. It was a massive win for Atlanta FaZe. They crushed it out 6-2. Very good for them, and hopefully we get to see an Optic FaZe final. Because we've seen Royal Ravens beat FaZe already, so
they can do it. So hopefully we can see a nice Optic phase final. So yeah, sorry about the wait, guys, but we'll definitely be back on webcams chatting away once we get back from this work thing in a sec. That's it.
We were hyping this up, right? It's the fourth matchup. You know, we've seen you guys constantly in grand finals. You guys came out and made that look easy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've been saying it online the whole time. Online respawns are different. No sound EQ. We're a way different team, and we just showed it right there. Also, people seem to forget who built that camp. I know how they play. I taught those kids how to play Call of Duty, so don't forget that. All right, like let's.
We got Fame here. Fame, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. Happy to be here.
Fantastic interview as always from Fame. Wonderful lad.
My barber insisted that I try out the look, and ever since, I've been feeling pretty good. We've been playing pretty good, so I feel like I kind of got to keep it. It might be a full goatee. You never really know.
Keep your barber, my guy. LA looks good on you. Sporting a 5-0 record, Carolina Royal Ravens are officially the #1 seed. They had the best map count coming into the tournament, and after their Game 5 victory over New York, they seem pretty confident as they match up against Optic Texas. Why do you like this team?
Their teamwork is just impeccable, and it's the fact that what should have been just an S&D team is doing extremely, extremely well. And Respawn, they have the game figured out before everybody else.
Nameless, I want to ask you a little bit about Vivid. I say everyone else's name. I don't say Vivid's name enough. What does he do in game? Because I always see him finishing maybe a 1.1, a 1.02, or barely negative. He seems to always go even.
Yeah, gap filler, willing to do what it takes for the team, and he's completely bought into the system. You know, I think he's one of the most underrated players in the history of Call of Duty. Always dropped for some reason when his teams underperform, and then he gets picked up by some like-minded individuals, and he finds success. You can think all the way back to the last Treyarch title on Cold War, where he got picked up by Empire, and they got a little bit better. So Vivid's just a guy you can plug and play in any team, and he will thrive. So I've been loving this roster so far, and like Ali said, like a team you thought would be really good at Search and Destroy, they've delivered there, but the respawns have been fundamentally sound, and it's led to so much success.
Carolina are technically the favorites in this one, but if you ask the fans, they're cheering for green today. Shotzzy is in the hunt for 100 match wins. He sits at 98. Optic trying to get him the opportunity with a best-of-5 here. Kenny, Dashy, Hook, and Shotzzy make up Optic Texas. Squad that's had their ups and downs. So far, they've been flying high.
And what's so interesting is I think this is going to be their biggest challenge yet. No other team mirrors them as well as Carolina Royal Ravens does right now. They're strong in all game modes. They don't really have anywhere they're falling short. The issue is right now, it's just that it feels like the teamwork isn't quite there just yet. They're not all on the same page, and as well as a couple of players needing to step up, but we saw that yesterday. So I'm hoping for a Game 5 series. This should be a 50-50 battle.
Did you see the Sunday Whites are out?
Yeah, they're vibing.
Yo, it is a vibe over at the Optic camp. All right, let's take a look at our maps and modes. Royal Ravens are devastating across the board. No matter where you want to match up against them, they have found success. Who has the edge, though, in this best-of-5? We will see a skyline, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, I think both these teams, like, they've had even split on the skyline. The vault control is a square up, and then when we get down to that Game 5 is where Optic is very comfortable on the protocol S&D. The red card, we have not seen Carolina play that yet in Game 4, so uncharted territory. Where we have seen Optic play it, they have lost. So interesting tail end of the series in Games 4 and 5.
Final question for you guys before we get to the pick'ems. Who had the harder road in the previous round? Was it Texas playing Boston or Carolina playing Cloud9 New York?
I'll let Allie pick this
I think I'm going to go with Carolina. I think Cloud9 New York is a pretty top team, and they had to play them not once, but twice.
I actually 100% agree with that. And the hard points were down to the wire. Think about it, like it was 10 points, 15 points, like it was a square up, and then the search and destroy as well. Had to bring out all the stops, so they're feeling good.
Carolina, they've been tested once. They will be tested again. It's time to find out where Allie will pick, because I will choose the opposite.
I've been going back and forth about this. The way these teams match up statistically is so close. But I think because of the map set, I have to lean Carolina Royal Ravens. I think they did a great job.
I will go Optic. Nameless, where are we going?
Yeah, I'm going Optic as well. I think Optic get this one done. I think they get it done in 5.
You regret your pick? Do you want to
Nope,
switch?
not at all. This is going to be my redemption. This is going to be my upset.
This is our second minor semi-final. Who will move on to the minor final? We send it over to Shift and Study to find out.
I think just based off this map series layout, it really could be a series that you could flip a coin for. Carolina, I still feel like are being slept on in a certain regard. They're flawless still to this point. Yeah, a couple of moments here and there where they look vulnerable, but they've provided answers when they need to the most. I think especially we saw that yesterday, Jay.
Oh yeah, especially out of TJ. Like you saw what he was doing. He was taking over map after map after map until we got into the game 5, and then Gwen was like, don't worry, I'll help you a little bit out, Tease. They just have like a great fundamental way to play Call of Duty, and the way they play hard points is great. They don't really have to get the most kills. They're doing the dirty work, and it makes their game look easy. But Search and Destroy with leaders like Slasher, you expect them to be well polished.
Sorry, I just had a disconnection issue.
Is how well they are at control. Now, I know the Death touched on it. When we get to that vault control, that is truly going to be a matchup where either squad can take it because they're both phenomenal at that map and mode.
Well, Carolina got it done in the 2-3-5 yesterday.
Let's
Nameless
go
pointed to
Optic.
it. It was like a total of like 20 points between both the two hard points, though. That was played on Hacienda, but also played here on Skyline. On the other side for Optic, though, outside of the formidability that they showed throughout the qualifiers, save just the Map 5 loss to Boston, how about Hook? He played lights out yesterday in combination with Dashy, and I know that the Green Wall will be thrilled to see that happen once again, pending, of course, that it does. But we jump out into Skyline. TJ already making a play up top. Nice little fly-through of it, but Texas will get on for a little bit early time before Carolina eventually countered.
And Vivid found the double. That's the guy that I'm pretty sure Puckett says he's saying everybody's name but Vivid. This is one of those series where Vivid needs to show that he has that skill to compete with the best. Because sometimes you can have the best team where you can have it all, but you need some raw talent when you're going up against this kind of team.
I'm back, chat.
In Optic, Texas, and so far off to a great
start.
Goes in favor of Carolina. Spawns already flipped there in the heavy driver's seat.
Nice, Dashy.
Here.
Well, Dashy will get 2. Vivid next one, C5. Dashy hasn't missed a bullet yet, and then from the top rope, trying to finish off all 4 shots. He will follow. Hook has flipped the spawns back, and after a really dicey moment midway through that first hard point, it will be Optic to stabilize, getting ready for P2.
Yep, and you still have Dashy being the human turret. Sorry, Octane, but this guy's not missing bullets. Already to an 8-3 start. All of Carolina spawning all the way across the map, and now Kenny is going to be in a perfect angle to at least get a couple of these players or have them weak. Trades are effective. Vivid finding a double. Now he just want to be a nuisance towards the back to potentially flip them out.
Oh, TJ, goodness, he has been all over the map, and he will find a double. That will open things up as Slasher will come up from behind Hook, find the kill, and turn that into a little bit of time here for Carolina. It's Congo line, though, over from the right side of the map to the left. Every kill a massive one here in front of P2. Quinn's able to get 1. Hook, Kenny, keep things contested as Slasher will jump the rope and get into the hard point for a little while longer before eventually he will be bested by Kenny and the rest of the Optic Texas Green Wall.
Just gotta be so annoying right there for Slasher to play into the hard point.
Was that Kenny?
You're still spawning all the way across the map. They're still gonna be in the back spawn ready to contest it. And that allows Optic Texas to keep that P2 a little bit mixy. Grow themselves a nice little 10-point lead, and now off the rotation. It is going to be Carolina in there early. But Optic Texas have positionings right now where they can set up this pinch. Big kill comes in out of TJ, but it does not matter. Optic push their way to the front.
Nice, Hook and Kenny in 2 pieces.
Yeah, I love that. It's just a little moment where you've got an SMG and an AR playing on one side,
nice,
and the others
Dashy.
playing on
He is
the
trying.
opposite. And Texas will use that as a chance to feel out where exactly Carolina responding and what their setup looked like, and they flawlessly break it early on to this kitchen hill. Still holding on to the back.
Kenny getting another 2 piece.
The way of Optic, as
Shotzi getting another 2 piece.
Through piano side, not what you want. Shotzi trying to hold the door on that play as Kenny will be the next one.
Oh, Kenny!
Oh, Kenny fucking.
TJ took a secondary challenge and gets shut down, but Carolina still have a chance to neutralize.
Yeah, that's a big double there from Slasher, because you heard Ali say it. These guys are basically mirror when you look at the stats on both of these squads and how they like to play. But right now, Slasher not off to a hot start, and you already see what Dashy was doing. Still only a 20-point difference. Do not have the spawns if you are Carolina. You were trying to break on in. But Optic, they're just way too spread. Hook is able to catch a double. Still not going to slow down. Give me all three. Is he going to try to go for the fourth? Yes, he does. But Slasher, he should get traded, and Optic right back in the hardpoint.
The SMGs are just taking over the tempo right now for Optic. 11 and 5 for Hook. Shotzzy all over the map at 11 and 10 as the AR is just following up and finding the easy kills on these setups. Slasher trying to play off the back door. Top bedroom position good for one. Dashy, backside tub. Finds the opener. Kenny's got him covered pretty darn well, but Carolina will still flip the spawns and get into the hard point. Considering how much they've been outslayed, the fact that this is underneath a 30-point game is going to feel like a miracle here for the Royal Ravens.
Yeah, they just need this time now. The slaying guns can get a little bit more hot as you go deeper into this game number one, but just keeping it scrappy until that moment happens is exactly what you're looking for, because they're going to walk away with that final 15, only going to be a 5-point difference. And now you're just going to have Slasher playing slow on this end because he wants to try to get a couple kills here to flip them out.
Unreal that this is the scoreline we're dealing with. If you were just to look at the KDs across both sides, you would think this was a 100-point game. But we only sit at about 15 points. Optic on hot tub for now. Gwyn 4 in a row. Really starting to catch a little bit of heat here as he will get up towards the top side of Piano, but Hook will beat him. So Optic will hold on to the left side of the map, but Carolina doing the work inside the hill.
And with Gwyn getting that one kill onto Kenny, that allows Carolina to bombard their way through the front end. Soak up this P one time. Trades are going down around the map. Gwyn finds a double. You know, it's only a matter of time before Gwyn starts to turn up and respawn again. Sitting at 17 and 14. Vivid on the hard point. Great team shots. Not able to lead to the kill, but Carolina are going to be able to take the lead or at least tie the game up. But Optic, with all the kills in the feed, maintain the spawns, and they should be set up for the next hill.
Yeah, the ARs for Carolina are just getting cooked right now. Combined 17 and 34. Not good news. Vivid,
only down 10
found a bit of a route here through catwalk side. He just needs to find an opener. The rest of Carolina's here, but it is still, again, another 3-for-1. Slasher traded a full wipe. Optic holding strong.
And this is where Optic can start to pull away with the game, because now they're fully set up for P2. You have kitchen control. You know the pressure's going to come on in, and Hook is just winning gunfight after gunfight.
Nice read from Hook there.
22. Man, this guy's unbelievable.
Kenny getting his trade.
TJ's giving him a lifeline, but it feels like, again, it's just another one of those moments where Optic are doing all of the right things. If that continues to be the case, this game could get out of hand quickly. Shotzzy now called.
Nice Shotzzy.
Two as the mantle from TJ gets shut down. The third player in Gwyn was also found around the back, and then Slasher trying to set something up is also absolutely obliterated.
Nice Dashy. Dashy's fucking doing bits.
Over to 3 and head into an Optic Texas. Listen in.
Alright, P1, now we. Give me the side. I mean, dude, that. You know what play? Find you guys. I'm looking at it. Block out, Brandon. Block out, one guy's.
Oh, he's gonna get hooked.
Slasher was really weak that side. Slasher was really weak that side. All here. Last two. Last guy, tell me. They spawn out. They flip. Or Piano. Yo, flip behind you. They're bottom bed. They're bottom bed. We're long. Shit. Last guy, conscious. The rest are gonna flip though. I'm playing for the rest. He's long. I can help.
This is nice.
Could be feeling me. Slasher. On you, fireplace. You on you.
Yeah, these boys are fucking cleaning up. Hook's double positive. What the fuck? Fucking Dashy's laughing. Look at this kid. Hook is doing bits for us right now.
Hook is on the knee.
He's 28 and 12.
Slammed. Are you joking? 28 and 12. Hook is getting it done all over the map. Doesn't matter who's in front of him. He wants it.
Yeah, it does not matter who's challenging on the side of Optic Texas. They are winning those gunfights. Carolina are not having a good time. The ARs not winning any gunfights, but they're looking for just a little bit of momentum. That P2 to P3 chain. Now we're up by 100 all of a sudden if you're Optic. And the hefty driver's seat. And Carolina needs to start stringing a couple kills together.
Carolina's got a clean 4.
A potential 25 gonna go in favor. We need to keep up in the slay department.
Big time. Gwyn, long range shots. Those are good. Oh, my. Jumped on by Shotzzy. Did not expect that. And all of a sudden, Vivid's kind of left by himself inside the hill. Gwynn's just trying to do what he can from the front side of bedroom. Good damage onto a follow-up, but Vivid's the one who really has to step up here. And he will at least be able to confirm the scrap time. 70-point game, though, and again, it's just Optic from 2 to 3. Just blew this game wide open.
Now, if you are Carolina, you just need to make sure that you're the team with the P2 side. Like, going into this, at the end of this P1, we're going to try to keep them off of it, but also don't allow them to soak up any of this hill time. And with Optic
who can dash you? Fucking hell.
Like, they're right back into this game where they can close it out here at P1. You have all of Carolina try to attack.
Oh, what a move. That was such a move.
Yeah.
Facing that Optic Texas setting. Yeah. They're playing flawless right now on Skyline.
This is just an absolute lineup. Dashy, I don't. If we had an accuracy stat, it would be like 90+%. He's not missing bullets, man.
Yeah, Dashy's not
right,
hit
up,
missing.
Down, inside out, doesn't make a difference. Optic putting this game well out of reach.
Timing on that was
Kind
terrible.
of play from the leader's advantage here. A couple of follow-up eliminations are here. They can just win the game on hot tub. I mean, Carolina has to win the war.
Who? Calm. Actually, don't calm down. Keep going.
All Optic, a statement. Map number 1.
That was
Jesus.
That is a
Hook went
statement.
crazy.
That's a statement.
Oh, they're wearing the white shirts.
You can even tell when we were in the listening, they started to giggle a little bit.
Yeah, Hook and Dashy went fucking crazy that game. By the way, I want that shirt.
I thought you would.
That shirt looks sick. You got the two-tone with the white and then the black. Yeah, I'm sorry, they just got absolutely smoked.
Hook could do no wrong. Legitimately.
Hook and Dashy, they couldn't do no wrong.
Wow. The tempo is just fast and furious from the get-go. ARs for Carolina just could never get into position. I mean, it felt like every time we saw Slasher and Vivid get done, they were usually on sprint, just trying to get to a setup.
Dashy with 3,800 damage.
26 of those
And look at that. Hook and Dashy together done 2.5 minutes on the point. All the boys did well, a minute on the point each, basically.
Nearly 3,800. Holy cow.
That's what the game looks like, though, Alan, when you're able to do what they did. That P2 to P3 chain was phenomenal. We're getting a flawless 60 hold on one of the more difficult hills where we saw, at least on the first go-around, it was chaotic on both sides. But once Optic Texas were able to find all 4 kills and realize, okay, they're spawning across the map. We got this covered, we got this covered. It's going to make us a lot easier when we're setting up those crossfires as well to find that second wave of kills. And then Carolina was just getting picked apart. Like the Slasher and Vivid combination of the ARs just did not have a good time. So, gotta completely shake this one off. I know I heard.
I'm just watching Skunk Quit. They said if they win the minor, there's dinner. Texas doing dinner.
You're not gonna have a good time.
Oh, damn.
Well, yeah, that's true. Nothing but facts were stated there.
Well, that was a disgusting fucking start for the
Yeah,
boys.
did you see how much kill time Dashy had as well?
Yeah, minute 31.
Yeah.
Look at Hook. Hook had 1 minute and 3 seconds.
Yeah.
They both had more time together than Kenny and Shotzi.
Collective moments, I think, over the top of the first P4, but that was about it. I mean, they maybe found 40.
Kenny's like, okay, was that it?
So, Optic just too many advantages, too many wins, too much moments of just being outslayed. And Shotzi just kind of doing the dirty work as Carolina stunned here.
Yeah, Shotzi was doing most of the dirty work, just flipping the spawns, getting those steps in.
Yeah, sorry
crazy.
They got it done to the 2-3-5, and it's gonna have to be like that again today because the way that Optic at least showed the way that they were gonna play hardpoint.
Crazy.
It's just absolute textbook, shots are on point. Even when they're flipping the spawns, they're still picking it up. They are micromanaging the game so well, and you can see it on the game flow. Once we got to that second half, it was just a pull away. Like, that's basically 2 hills where, combined, they've gotten 4 points between P2 and P3. You're not going to win like that. Simply not going to win.
And I think on top of that, you want to say the other side of the perspective, you get essentially 100 points if you're Optic in 100 total 20 seconds worth of opportunity between those 2 hills. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so let's kind of reset.
Yeah, that's another thing, yeah.
Now we get over to the search and destroy.
2 points, so 120 seconds, and they get 100 points out of those 120 seconds.
Yeah.
That's
we
also
talked
good.
about this a lot on Challengers this week, is that it does feel very dramatically different from when it was last in the game because Black Ops 4 is 5v5. There are more opportunities, more routes for SMGs to take that just cannot be covered, which is, I think, one of the reasons why we still have that open window over the top of the B site. It just comes down to, do you find the timings and those moments to kind of slip out and try to make make a mess of the defensive setup, I think, in particular, if you're an offensive SMG.
And I feel like teams, at least from what I've been watching when they play Hacienda Search and Destroy, they're not really worried about the times because they're just full-on bombarding their way through top hallway to get over towards that B side. They are taking the map away. And we know for a team like Optic, where they have players like Dashy, who's a 1.5 in Search and Destroy, he has his moments where he just makes rounds out of absolutely nothing. 4v2, 2v2, because Dashy pops a 2p. That's the kind of player that he is. He's always been a phenomenal Search and Destroy. But with them only having one rep underneath their belt, thankfully it was all the way to around 11, because that's a lot of odds that you can go back and watch. Obviously, you have players who played Black Ops 4 back in the day when Hacienda was originally in the game. So they're going to understand what they need to do. Now it's just all about implementing, like you said, that secret hallway for the complete opposite side. Because you see teams either play it slow towards plat and completely get it taken over, or they be aggressive through top mid hallway, and it's all about those early engagements, and they completely shut down that site. So with Optic Texas, with the way that they play map number 1, you best believe they're probably going to be the aggressors. But on the opposite side for Carolina, TJ ain't no slouch. TJ's going to bring in a Search and Destroy, and he's got to have a moment here.
Yep. Yeah, I was about to say, again, we saw this yesterday, the Hacienda Search from them, a 6-2 affair. This is the stats from yesterday between Gwyn and TJ. I mean, really, everyone looked good on the map, but TJ in particular goes 9-3. And then on, I think the other side, I think the most impressive thing about this for Gwyn was the first blood tally, right? The opening duel win percentage, really strong for him as he was able to tally a handful throughout all of the Search and Destroys, but in particular, also finding success in the Hacienda beatdown that they were able to give to Cloud9. I think really kind of, again, helps you, if you're a Carolina fan, to rationalize a world where you can still bounce back after a beatdown map number 1 and try to get this thing back to a 1-1 count before we look at the ball.
Yeah, you're going to feel super confident going into Hacienda. Obviously, both teams sitting at 1-0. Only had one repetition on it. But the way that Carolina have been playing Search and Destroy recently has been outstanding. But the same thing could be said for Optic. 7-win streak, 3rd overall on their attacking side, 1st overall on the defense. And if they can stick strong to that 1st overall, where they can shut down that bomb plant at that A site, oh, this should be an easy map for them.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. Both teams enjoying a 1-0 map count on this map mode combination since its introduction after the holiday break. But it'll be Carolina to approach the offense first. Slasher and TJ waiting to see if there's going to be any defensive nades toss. Gwyn right on over towards the fire hall. Good for the first.
Nice dashing
it down, and they will win the trades here for Optic.
And I love that play call right there from Optic Texas. Completely disregard top plat. We take this mid hallway. We stand a good chance of shutting down all of your A push. So they put themselves early into the man advantage, but TJ pushes on through, is able to take down Dashy. 2v2. Both squads on the complete opposite sides of your mini map.
Yep.
2v2.
It still does feel, though, like Carolina is the one that is in the trickier of the two positions, and they're looking to see if they can catch Optic on some sort of a rewrap back to A. See TJ's position, bottom side over through bar, this office staircase, and he may have given this up at the exact wrong moment. Slasher also missing the timing. Optic will see it, but Hook takes a couple of shots, and now Carolina are alerted that they're being hunted.
Yeah, but they're not going to think about that objective. They're trying to send it for these kills, and that's the perfect game plan. TJ and Slasher combined for that kill onto Kenny. Now it's Hook. Left in a 1v2. Rotation going over towards B, and Hook, you better get a move on it because it's more difficult to retake this when that bomb gets planted.
Well, he is chasing shadows right now. Slasher holding it off angle on this close corner. Hook, opening shots are good. Runs out of ammunition, but resets. Uh-oh, the problem is the water. Slasher, can you get the kill? Sometimes that water feels like it's made out of Kevlar, but Slasher's able to connect.
Why is that water different?
Before the clock expires on the play.
No.
Ooh, I thought Slasher wasn't going to send it.
No, sometimes
He's not gonna give that one up for free. He said I had you absolutely one shot. You can't really.
It's just sometimes the water, mattering how deep you go, it's very difficult to shoot them.
Oh.
Like it's difficult to shoot someone in the water.
Just comes back to that trigger discipline out of Hook. If Hook is not able
That's
to
why
put down
Hook
a
didn't
shot,
swim to the right.
one player working
He
over
went
towards
backwards
plat.
to try and get deeper into the water.
That could have easily went in favor of Optic Texas, but just a heads up play call. Once they gain that info on the side of Carolina, to not commit on that bomb plant, to isolate onto Kenny, and then slash on a one-on-one.
Carolina get the opener. Offense now for Optic. Wow, this is aggressive for both sides. All of it over towards the open hallway, and that is a blender for Optic. 3 kills, Kenny only able to find 1. Hook may be able to secure 1 here for free, pending the timing. He'll see 1 on the stretch back, but of course the curiosity question is this the entire team for Carolina? And Hook is going to actually read this correctly. The problem is he still have to go up to the 1v3.
Yeah, he's taking the super long route. Potentially, if he cuts that short, he could catch at least 1 player, but with 45 seconds, At least he does have the bomb in hand. Just does not check his corner, and Carolina 2 rounds in a row. Back off the first blood, and that was all out of
I would have. I'm not gonna lie. I would have parted on a B.
Like it's as simple as that.
Yeah, but then you gotta think like it's now 1v3 and they're all coming at you. Well, if you can go, if he didn't do that long wrap round and he went through lobby, then he could have picked one out, ran away and disappeared, and then possibly planted, because then it would have been a 1v2, it would have been more winnable. While if he planted, they would have all 3 turned around, pushed B together, so if he kills one, the other one's there to trade him anay. And then if he gets that second one, then...
One's diffusing, 2's looking, or whatever,
yeah, exactly.
Looking for an early RCXD. The play through bottom secret, often the case for these SMGs. Just trying to see if they can catch a challenge through Fire Hall, but no one's home this time. Carolina are just going to hold this and see if they can catch Optic getting aggressive, which they may on the Shotzzy, but he will catch out Vivid for first blood.
It's beautiful plays right there from Optic Texas to set up Shotzzy in that positioning. Leads for that first blood, but now you give up all of open hall control. TJ's able to find one. Shotzzy effective on the trade. Still in the man advantage is Optic Texas, but Gwyn's sort of getting the read that someone has to be close.
Yeah, it's just, again, the timing of this. Shotzzy's now out of here. I mean, he's not, but in Gwyn's mind, he could be anywhere. So this just comes down to hoping you've got good COD timing. This is difficult for Carolina. Slasher just trying to get something to work with over through top fire. Not going to work. And now it's just down to Gwyn for what will feel like a pretty impossible 1v3.
Nice, boys.
Yeah, not going to be able to at least find one
Clean
kill
that
on
shit
the round,
up.
and that all starts with Optic Texas just taking the map away. They realized early on, we gained the info, there's no stuns, no nades, no presence through top mid hallway. So they just allowed Shotzzy to do Shotzzy things, get lost behind enemy lines. He pushes right up through bottom mid for that first blood. And effective on a trade and then continuously being a nuisance. Like Gwyn was trying to locate, where did he go? So Shotzi's not going to give you anything to play with.
Cold.
Yep. Okay. Convincing round there for Optic. A lot of it, again, just by that forward pressure that you're already kind of mounting to, which is something that definitely can be a problem spot for a lot of teams. If those subs can
Feel my ankles, they're freezing.
It really plays with your mind. Trophy system down. Nade from the defense, not going to land. Slasher by himself here. Shotzzy at mid-cut.
Nice. Oh!
Plus a little extra after that. And now he's just left with the pistol. A little greedy on it, but regardless,
you just
the kills come
spray
through.
2 magazines into TJ Hally's body.
He's been letting him know for quite some time now. He's been chirping a little bit on the timeline, but why not when you're one of the best players, if not the best SMG in the game? As he continues to make plays like that happen. That would have been hilarious though, Alan, if it came back to bite him. Like you waste both your ammos on both your SMGs, you got a pistol left, and guy comes in and kill you because you want to play with your food. Huh?
Wait, he has 2 SMGs and a pistol.
No. So he killed one, then killed Teej, sprayed his whole clip into Teej, then picked up his teammate's SMG, sprayed that mag into him, and then he only had his pistol, so he was like, shit, fuck, I got no bullets.
The doors once again over towards fire. Shotzzy holding in a corner here. Gwyn, often the player who tries to play through this top open hall. And Shotzzy is just waiting to see if he can catch a shadow or any information. And there's the shoulder. Just comes down to when does he want to try to chow this? The answer is now.
That's discipline at its finest right there, the Shotzzy. For that first blood. Now can he finesse a little bit longer? No, he is going to get traded instantly by Vivid. That's a lot of information gained. If you are Optic Texas across the map, though, the island player with the bomb in hand, TJ gets the better of Kenny.
Yeah, that's a weird moment right there, because I think Shotzzy thought Hook was watching his cross over towards the actual fireplace itself. Wasn't really the case. Now all of a sudden Carolina have the advantage. Dashy last one left, found over towards fences. Yeah, that felt like a weird moment. Shotzzy gets the freebie and then pushes forward, I think thinking that Hook is watching over his hallway, but that really wasn't the case there. So a small bit of miscommunication leads to Carolina bouncing back after the first blood goes against them.
It's just a lot of angles that Hook would have to watch, try to keep Shotzzy alive and towards top secret hallway. You got to look deep. You got to look at the staircase. You also got to watch your left side because no one was showing presence over towards open. So he just decided to play it over towards Plat. And unfortunately could not catch the time to keep his teammate alive. But that round simply comes down to TJ winning that one-on-one. Like if TJ doesn't win that one-on-one, bomb down, everybody else from Optic Texas just back on up and disengage and play their numbers advantage. But him clutching up in that gunfight allows him to take that one away.
Slasher playing a bit more aggressively down towards bottom bricks. Gwyn once again getting to work top fireplace. He's got help here. That's from Vivid, who does tally the kill onto Dashy. So the first 2 kills, good for Carolina. The adaptations have been solid, and with these opening first bloods going their way, Shotzzy getting around the back will have to force something, and now he finds himself in what would technically be a 1v3, 2 more to grab.
Is going to be down though towards our defenses. If you are TJ and Gwyn, just run around and play a trade together. It seems that TJ's already gained the info. Shotzzy with the movement. Trying to keep them at bay, but eventually a play has to come in.
Yeah. Bomb will be collected. Gwyn missing the timing as Shotzzy is able to find this through fences and get a plant. This gives him a chance here. Gwyn and TJ are clearing top office. They think he's rewrapped to B. So now Shotzzy has the benefit of playing this post plant in whichever way he chooses. The problem is he hasn't seen Carolina in a while, so they could be coming from anywhere as well. And the play is going to be from the open side of this secret window. Shotzzy first contact. Good. Finding Gwyn. Slips away. TJ not able to get the train. Shotzi's out.
He also checked the bomb as well.
If he tries to re-pull this through connector, he may find timing on a TJ here.
Oh, they got
Oh, he didn't get TJ.
Just a bit quicker to snap on.
That was wicked from him as well, because when he ran through lobby, he checked bomb as well, just to make sure he's not defusing.
You want to turn it into a 1v1? This is what I do. He understand who he was playing against. That's why you saw it initially when they were running around top plat, clearing out all these spaces, because they're going up against Shotzzy. He's not just going to stand on still. He's going to be maneuvering around the map, trying to finesse it. But TJ does not blink. He knows they always come back. And he's able to clutch up in the one-on-one to take that round and not allow Optic as a 2v4 clutch.
Yep. 4-2 the count now. Carolina growing a little bit of separation, and our first look over towards B. It's a passive one, just trying to stay alive through checkers. Counting pixels through this little peek is TJ. I believe he saw both players. It just comes down to, will they realize that Shotzzy and Hook are going to just play this from top spiral, because it's a lot of pressure here on the Slasher, who's very isolated.
Yeah, they took that map away from Carolina, but that's totally fine because now you already have this bomb site, but TJ is going to plant it in a position to where Hook is able to get the better of him. Shotzzy works the deep clinch, is able to take down Slasher. Now in the 2v4, trying to make a play happen. He gets cut down.
Nice boys. Bring it back, bring it back.
Look to be a complete blind counter when TJ gets the info on both of those players going to mid. I guess he just waits too long because you allowed Optic Texas to get that info, retreat their way back on back, and catch the timing to eliminate that bomb carrier.
It almost felt like a moment of like split decision, you know, knowing that Slasher was going to be at an island, it was under threat. There was like a moment where it looked like Carolina may have considered backing up to see if they could just hold on to their double stairs. Or do we allow Slasher just to play his life and finesse through well and allow the plant to go down? And in that moment of indecision, Hook finds a peek through the open hall into the bomb carrier, and that changes.
Swear to God, I don't think I've seen us do an offensive round where we haven't forgot to pick up the bomb.
Yeah.
Swear to God, one of our players is about to move back and get the bomb.
Really, round after round from the offensive side, just comes down to what support does he have, as there has been no gunfire anywhere on the map yet.
No info either gain on the side of Optic Texas on what the setup is looking like for Carolina. So it's just gonna play this one slow on both ends. Vivid is going to gain that info that someone's going to be approaching towards top mid bar, but here comes the double challenge.
Oh, he gets the first. That's okay. Office, though, now owned by Optic. Slasher's in trouble. Tries to back up towards his spawn and flowers. The rest of the Carolina defense playing a bit, I would say, just kind of individual. What corners can you hold? Can you catch timing? That's the idea at the moment. Shotzi's seen. You have to isolate here. Problem is, it's Shotzzy, and he could be gone in the blink of an eye, especially with the bomb is now planted. Gwyn through rock. Timing.
Nice,
It was decent, but he can't lock down the shots. Hook wins his one. Shotzzy gets the follow.
Nice.
Love that. That was clean from the boys. That was clean from the boys.
And that's such bad timing right there out of Gwyn, because it looked like he was going to edge up to check that site. But once he was able to spot Shotzzy in towards top bar,
his accuracy's so good.
So the bomb goes down for free, and then Hook loves those gunfights. He loves those gunfights when he gets caught off guard and he has to snap to win it.
You have to snap.
No, that's literally it. He loves them gunfights.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him where he's actually turned around and he's had to go like that, quick, just fuck.
And Optic Texas now relying on a little bit of individual skill to bail him out these rounds, but they tied up at 4.
It makes it even now because he's not able to like actually play evenly.
Down through Fountain. Win, watching from the secret hall. Pook trying to stun himself, keep him alive. Dashy with the first blood, but it's countered. Shotzi trying to find the trade.
Nice.
Spiral, he's going to catch Gwyn. But the problem is Bomb is now down. Slasher holding on to well. This is not an easy gunfight for anyone. And Shotzi will use both of his nades, and he respects that, yeah, that's not a gunfight, I win.
Yeah, no, and this is a perfect play call. If you decide to
Oh,
give up
he didn't know he was going
still trying to
around.
commit on that, we could have potentially isolate onto TJ, because you gained info onto one guy, but now it's all of a sudden a 1v2. Dashy has that clutch gene, and he's able to find the first 15 seconds.
He's broken the timing well, and he's hopped.
Oh.
Slasher's re-wrapped. Slasher may not get here in time. Dashy's hopped, and Slasher's trying to check.
Oh, he got it just in time.
It does, just barely. Slasher finds the kill by the look of it.
Just got it by a millisecond.
Close as it gets, though. Dashy trying to hop for the 1v2, but Slasher with the pistol out gets here just in the nick of time.
I think that was literally half of a second there.
If he missed another bullet, if Slasher missed another bullet, I think, like, look,
was so close.
literally, yeah, if he missed one more bullet,
it was basically done. Let's see it from Dashy perspective. You just
it was done. Literally, if he just missed one bullet, if he just missed one more bullet, we would have won that.
Slasher to clutch up in the round. Now game point for Ravens.
Oh my goodness. And here we go again. Shotzi down low.
Oh,
Top. He's able to track down both of them.
that's not good.
Could he get the full ace? They don't get. He's
That's
playing
not good.
outside, but Vivid takes away the angle. Slasher saves the round previously and then lights it up early in a 5-second round as Carolina.
Thing is, that's what I don't like. They're shooting from there. You know they're there, but yet with bomb, you don't go outside door. You keep going to where they're shooting from.
I cannot stand another round where Shots is gonna push to our bottom line. So he said, "I'm gonna contest from top closed window," and he's able to find 3 in that final round. A clutch comes in from the Liddy Goat. A 3-piece in that final round from the Liddy Goat. Carolina able to tie the game up at 1. But that was such a mixy
Kenny had a tough game there.
I think I want to take it back to that previous 3v2 before it even turns to a 1-on-1. Because if you're Shotzi there, like, we back up to our teammates. We already gained info on 1. We can isolate onto TJ and potentially put us in a 2v1 working that defuse. But committing too hard in that gunfight, Slasher made him pay for it. And Carolina tied the series up at 1.
Wow. Much to the chagrin of Optic fans, you see that bar of progress. It's like that round of control that, like, you get the pause at 0.00 seconds. It kind of feels like that. Slasher able to convert on a clutch round 9 moment, and then the opener in round 10 puts it just barely out of reach. So after a blowout of map number 1, Carolina bounced back nicely, and we've got the most rehearsed control coming up next for both of these two teams as we head back to the desk and give us their thoughts.
What a series already. We're knotted up 1 apiece, and game 1, let's start there. First half, very close. Second half, blowout. Optic takes over. Let's talk about the game 2, though. You have Slasher going back and forth, and then he just says, game over. How do you see these moments unfolding, Nameless? How did we get to a point where an individual can have such an impact?
Yeah, I mean, I think this was a really good search and destroy. I mean, in the beginning, you saw, like, Carolina, they were taking space. They were playing very aggressive. Oh, I think my mic's on.
Yeah, we're going to find your mic on here in a second.
If you click
Allie,
that
what did you see in
Figure
this?
it out.
Oh, you're good?
Are we back? Okay. So map number 2 for me just was the TJ show, to be honest. Optic Texas was doing great with these opening duels, but it was just a lot of bang outs, and it came down to these really tiny decision-making moments. If you go all the way back to round 1, it's a great example where they are not in a favorable position on the side of Carolina Royal Ravens. TJ makes a heads-up play. He flanks through the pack with bomb, finds a kill, and then they're able to make the wrap and make the play. Later on, he does the same thing. He's taking the bomb top hallways and literally getting behind Optic Texas. There's a few rounds it didn't work, but the times that it did is what kept them in the game. And then, of course, Slasher calling game in round 4 with the 1v1 versus Dashy with a millisecond to work with, as well as the opening 3 next round.
Yeah, I think it was a great search and destroy. I mean, in the beginning, you saw Carolina kind of playing aggressive and taking space, and then they realized, like, hey, let's just play a little bit slower and just kill Shotzzy and we'll win the round.
Right.
Yeah.
And we saw that the last couple of rounds. Like, you see Shotzzy just running through bottom mid, Slasher's able to kill him. The round that Jay mentioned I thought was huge, probably the swing round for them, where it's like Shotzi's in a position where he can just back up and he pushes to their spiral stairs and ends up getting picked in the clutch round. So yeah, Carolina just adapting really well, something we've talked about in their series so far, and once again, winning a search and destroy.
And it was really important for Slasher to kind of get his bounce back at map number 2, because say what you want, that Skyline map number 1 was literally just from 2 mistakes from Carolina Ravens. 1, they allowed them to have a full 60 hold in that second set in P2, and 2, Slasher and Vivid just couldn't keep up with slaying. They had a really slow map 1, and on a map like Skyline that plays like Boca, you need to have the slaying.
2 small mistakes.
Yeah, they got
17
cooked.
and 31, Allie. That's a huge mistake that happens over and over again. No, I got you, though. Game 3 is loading up here. Do you favor Carolina or do you favor Optic going into control?
Carolina, 100%. If they're all keeping up with slaying from Optic Texas, they are an unreal control team on Vault.
What are they playing for? Well, if you win this best of 5, you move into our minor final to play against FaZe. $20,000 awaits the winner of this tournament, and of course, you will be earning points towards COD Champs already. 10 secured. Will you get 20 with a win here?
Yeah, I mean, FaZe really needed this right after their start.
Yeah.
And then you talk about this, like, everybody wants to see the Classico matchup, and Carolina is trying to take that from them and get this W. And they definitely could do it. You talk about the control, both 4-1 on this vault coming up.
Yeah.
Could be the map that
You nervous about your Optic pick?
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Should
after
be a
seeing
little
that.
bit.
If we go to game 5, yeah.
We going to a game 5 study?
I think so. Like, with the way that it happens, it's gotta be. Like, we haven't even seen Carolina on red card yet. They might be unbelievable at that map when we get there, because we're guaranteed going into a map number 4. But this vault control, at least when we looked at the map set beforehand, Alan, we said that this was gonna be the deciding factor, because they're both sitting at 4-1, both phenomenal at the map, and whoever's gonna take this one, in our opinion, should walk away with the series.
I think the thing that's really kind of compelling about this map in particular is we've seen highlight reel moments off of Shotzzy just getting lost, going rogue, taking over the map. But we have a new TJ this weekend, it feels like. And he's been doing just as much work as anyone else when it comes to playing that slaying SMG. So will we get that same TJ that we had kind of from yesterday, for instance, where he could do the exact same thing that a Hookah or a Shotzzy could do? It feels like you need it, especially if the ARs are not going to be able to hold a candle to what we're seeing, I think in particular out of Dashy on the other side, because that opening Skyline was less than pretty from Vivid and Slasher.
Yeah, on a map like Vault too, like if your ARs are not going to find success, you need someone to do it. And the way that TJ has been playing so far throughout Minor 1, in control with only 1 match underneath his belt, 1.3, 1.4, you will absolutely take that. You need to continue that here, because we saw it in the opening respawn. Your team was struggling when you talk about those slaying kills. So on a map like Vault, where you can easily put into a trap, you have to be able to execute with those ARs. So Slasher and Vivid need to have a step back here, because the way that Dashy is shooting, and also the way that Kenny was shooting in that map number 1, those guys were uncontested.
Sure. Yep, it's a fair point. But there's the overall control record so far. Again, a lot of the work has been done across this map on Vault, in particular for Carolina. It's only been this map. Optic has only seen Protocol once, and it didn't go very well for them yesterday, so they're back to more comfortable grounds where they also have been very successful, only dropping a single round 5 versus LAG. It will be Carolina on the opening offense, though. And initially, it's all focused towards A, as it often is, and success to stop the clock early with Slasher taking away space. Little crossfire setup with Gwyn, trying to force the final shots towards Dashy, but he gets away, and Carolina will have to just resort to playing for the zone.
And I love how Vivid, right off the respawn, he said, wait, where did I spawn? Over towards pool, someone's flanking. He knew it had to be Shotzzy, so he sets up for that first kill. And that should allow his teammates now to walk away with at least 2 segments here at A. Now they're working their way back into the point. Hoop finds that double, though. He's going to give an extra lifeline to Optic Texas to try to contest this.
Lineup moment for Slasher. Playing his life nicely. Careful, it's a teammate. Third tick of progress being worked on. You've got Hook down low. Zone will be captured before Hook makes his play. He finds TJ for free, but Gwyn will chase him down, find the trade. 4 life advantage, 2 minutes on the clock for Carolina.
Carolina around like the middle of the pack. We talked about their attacking success. They usually stand strong on their defense, but they're giving Optic Texas, who are really good at the defensive side, currently a run for their money. 1 minute and 45 to work with. Slasher's still sitting on 3. Just trying to maintain this mid-map control, but now that Optic Texas are already worked out, Slasher's got to wrap back.
Yeah, you just cannot allow Dashy to be back here for free. There's the door pop. Gwyn, lots of damage taken. And they'll allow Dashy to just made it a little while longer. Good read though. Dashy finished. Whoa, okay. We saw the shooting bodies thing.
Gwyn shooting bodies as well.
Gwyn says, I'll just return those to sender as we still have a minute 18 of the clock and an even tally in terms of the lot.
The good thing is Optic Texas, even off the respawn, are finding the kills to work their way out of their base. It's now 3 dead. Still yet to account for where Gwyn was, but Shotzi does not care about that situation. I'm just gonna try to make the game easier for my teammates. I know where the pressure is. Freebie number one more right above you. I don't know if he's gonna get the indication, but the beat down good enough and the shots from Vivid to take care of him.
And careful here, Slasher's gonna get an angle all the way around the back through P4. Carolina just need to hold on to their spawn, which they do. Where exactly does Kenny spawn up? Should be right below this play from Slasher, but no one's turning for this. Slasher has the ability of opening up the B zone by himself, but it's just taking too long. In the meantime, Shotzi's gonna find 2, so Optic's defense will still have some position to work with, although Slasher is in a very tricky spot.
Yeah, even though Slasher found himself in a position, with Kenny spawning the way that he did, he said, oh, definitely someone's in our art, just push forward. Thankfully, Shotzi was able to catch a double in that process. Now they're trying to disregard Slasher, but Slasher is now making an impactful play. He's only able to take down 1. Dashy there for the trade. First segment comes in. Optic, you gotta go.
Yeah, Kenny on the backside is just trying to play this crossfire setup deep towards gold. Second ticket progress being worked on. 21 seconds on the clock, and Carolina have found the kills that they need to stay on the zone for a small time. Kenny backing up to the point, though. Will keep the defense alive. Second not depleted yet.
Nice
3
shot,
lives though remaining for Carolina, and they're going to run out of time and lives for the rest of this attack. Not a bad effort, but it just felt like, again, the smallest of timing. Slasher just could not quite get into a spot to help out the Carolina offense on the zone.
4
It's just because when Slasher got into that position, there was nobody peeking him or anything like that because of how Optic Texas decided to play it. Completely disregard him due to the info that Kenny was able to get off the respawn, and then leading the shots, he catching that double in towards fall. Basically said GG onto the round.
Nice, Kenny.
Defense, give up 4 segments. But now this is where Optic Texas can start to show who they truly are, because you have SMGs who tend to get lost. They are the #1 attacking team that we currently have. Besides Minnesota, they're basically tied there. But the reason why they're so successful at it is because what the SMGs are able to get done. They can get lost. Carolina's not gonna have fun.
See if they can follow up on that. All things told, a very successful offense for Carolina. You get a quick capture at A, you get 1 tick over towards B, and definitely setting the bar at a pretty reasonable level as Shotzi will dive right through Vault. This looks like Optics wanted to try to go to B early. Shotzi will jump on the zone. Slasher Vivid there to keep the defense in play, and that will be some opening defensive focus now for Carolina. Kenny, who had a great first round, tried to get things going here in round 2, but the trades are even as we approach the 60-second mark.
Shotzi again bails him out with a double. Already puts the game clock at a pause. So they're working up the progression towards A. You had Kenny watching the pinch, or at least count for the 3rd, and now Dashy in a position to play a couple spawners. That's already another 3 dead.
Yeah.
You do have the one player who did play his life, get a kill, but TJ's effectively traded, and this is what I'm talking about. The SMG's getting lost. You're going to have a lot of time that you're wasting just looking where Shotzi is.
Yup, and that's all just because Dashy gets that crossfire set up. Allows Shotzi just to dive forward. Gwyn up top. Shotzi aware of that. On 4 in a row off the regen. And wow, what a read. Gwyn just bouncing off the balcony as the second tick of progress is about to come through at A. Big win from TJ. He actually hops on to deplete some of this progress, and the clock will continue to tick with 45 on it.
Shotzi's still alive. Like, look, right now, Carolina, they are split on their push. They cannot fully send it to try to shut down this A pressure because they have to take care of Shotzi. Finally, they do that, and that leads to 3 dead. With 35 seconds still to go, Optic forced to hit the reset button. This is where you can't give this one up if you're Carolina. But everybody drops at the wrong time. Time should be able to get extended.
Yeah, you just got to chalk this and rotate over for this B setup, you would think. They've been trying to step up over towards U-Haul as the extra 60 seconds will completely with the stack. Shotzi seen up top at Art. Gwyn throwing some shots. TJ to finish. 18 plays 12 though, with plenty of time on the clock for Optic to try to approach this like a TDM, and they're winning out over towards B as well. This is where things get really dangerous for Carolina.
Yeah, the AR's lined up long distance. We're able to find a double, make it triple. So now Optic Texas have an avenue of attack right through the front side. As that first segment already comes in, you have a pinch trying to be developed out of Gwyn, but he's getting isolated. Kenny already
nice, Kenny.
Lines, and he's gonna
Kenny, G.
21 and 9.
On 6 in a row. This is looking like an Optic Texas round.
Yeah, takeover map here for
Oh,
Kenny.
that
We
he
saw
ran out of
full
bullets.
play from the first round. He was snapping. A moment of that happening live once again. 14 plays 6. Second tick will be locked in as Hook will jump back on the zone and brutally put the pressure on Carolina. Nades do land to keep the defense relatively stable. Kenny's going to be chased down and finished off, but it's 11v5 and there's still tons of time in the clock.
They cannot afford to play trades in this scenario. Your setup has to be perfect if you are the Ravens. Now no more respawns. Shotzzy just going to hop onto the point. Put shots into every SMG player on the side of Carolina. 10v2, make it 9v2, make it 8v2. It's all up to the ARs now for Carolina to clutch on up.
Yeah, and Hook's going to catch Slasher here. Yeah, there's the wall bank win. Likely to get the confirm. Oh, never mind.
Clean.
Help was on the way. Hook was in trouble over towards Lion, but the shots will land and Optic will go up quickly 2-0.
He just sprayed the whole mag into fucking TJ's body again.
A lot of it has gone.
Fucking Kenny's doing bits right now. 22 and 12.
This completely changes the tide of this entire Carolina.
Did he just shoot his teammate on purpose?
I don't know.
You just go whoop.
Because now you're down by 6 or 7 lives with almost 2 minutes to try to defend over towards.
He's in that good a flow state that he doesn't see color. He just sees people that he needs to shoot.
Glitches, you're gonna have a lot better of a time to try to close out that objective point. That eventually allows Optic Texas to now be.
He's just shooting bodies already.
On the map.
It's hilarious.
He's using all his fucking ammo.
Actually, I don't even think they complete that final segment, so they're up by.
I don't know if they. Yeah, I don't think they did either.
But they're just doing whatever they want, Alan.
Yeah, it may not matter, Jay. It's been pretty much an all-AR affair here for Optic, but Shotzzy and Hook kick things off with some fireworks in round number 3.
Oh,
Carolina
that was lag.
sent back to spawn, and that's being watched now by Kenny, who just knows he just needs to play his life. Gwyn will chase him down, find the kill, and there's a chance here for Carolina to work on a spawn.
Yeah, they have the numbers. They're going to bar their way through the front door, but here comes a Shotzzy. At least only able to take down 1. Gives Carolina another opportunity to work their way on in. That was Hook turned to be a wrecker. He's able to catch a double. And now all you have to do is continuously finesse, or at least force the players to back up from that setup, because now your teammates have an opportunity to work their way back on in.
Yep. Carolina's still hanging. All 4 members off spawn, straight over towards A. Shotzzy down low in the vault, able to find the opener. TJ taking care of Hook, allows Carolina to keep the clock paused at 47 seconds. Just 1 member on, though, and Gwyn's still worried about the flank, as rightfully he should be. Shotzzy's gone missing again.
There he is.
Here is everything. Difficult gunfight with Shotzzy wins, and a follow-up from Dashy. He was the only defender at the top of the A zone. He works too, and that's going to be enough now to once again push Carolina back into their spawn.
That's
over fucking.
Carolina did not have any cap presence because Gwyn was playing super slow off the spawn, knowing that Shotzzy was behind enemy lines. And now with only 30 seconds left, all of Optic puts up into your base. Hook is at least able to find 1 before getting taken down. But you have to try to complete this A capture and extend this time.
Yeah, and the problem is, again, you've got both ARs just absolutely overwhelming the outsides of A and the central parts of the map. And so Carolina has to be resorted to trying to play off. It'd be a weird moment there. Hook looked like he's been killing in 2 bullets a lot of the time here this game. That time looked like a guaranteed on the TJ not to happen. And hold on a second. Carolina's cooking on both zones at the same time. This is how you make a comeback happen. They're going to get the extra 60 on A. Slasher's still watching the cross here at B with a life lead, and Slasher's not missing. Eventually traded. TJ trying to get the trade onto Dashy. Difficult shots, but it converts, and that's a tick of progress at B.
And now it's 7v10. First segment already comes in. Here comes Vivid on the pinch for the freebie onto Hook. You're spawning them all the way on the opposite side of your mini-map, and this is where the SMGs can start to roam. No more respawns in favor of Optic Texas. Carolina seeming to extend this map a little bit longer.
Yeah, I just felt like that kind of came out of nowhere for Carolina.
Okay.
You look up and there's 2 members, 1 on either zone. The A zone gets captured. Optic, after what looked to be just an overwhelming dominance through the A zone, kind of lose track of B. They get caught tracking back, Jay, and then Carolina just rip them apart.
Yeah, it just starts with that first kill that TJ was able to get laying down at Voltor. The fact that Shotzzy knew that Slasher was playing over towards Palm, he jumps out, catches the timing to turn into a one-on-one gunfight. But then when he loses that fight, you're forcing now your second SMG player in Hook to jump out and try to take care of him. Then that sets up Slasher for the trade, and then you're dominating over towards B Street. Just clutch kill after clutch kill in those moments for Carolina to keep this game going on. Because now they find themselves up by 3 segments. On the defensive side, they need a shutout.
Yeah. Well, let's see, because again, the ARs have just been dominating for Optic. Offense defense. Eyes towards A. A lot of it from the balcony side. Vivid off 4 in a row. A little bit of help. Team shots coming through. Allows this zone to still stay defended. TJ, Kenny kind of meeting each other at mid-map. It's Vivid who finds the final shots, though. And Dashy just trying to play a little bit of oversight will actually kind of help Optic get off spawn and get back in and try to threaten the zone. But Slasher, a little peek and a dive. That will work out to keep the clock ticking.
Man, Dashy's been uncontested over towards Top Cat so far since the beginning of this round. Gave his team a lifeline to work their way back on in, but Vivid is
I don't like this.
from them. Slides right on in with that SMG. He's able to catch a double. Knows that Shotzi is still close. Not able to find that kill, but he's weak. Instantly gonna fly in for the trade and consistently do that if you are Ravens. Trying to at least force us round 5.
Yeah, a couple of trades here and there, but Carolina still keep coming on top of how the
Nice,
slide
Kenny.
environment has moved. Kenny tagged up, thought about it, backs over towards Marble. Carolina, though, in the middle of the map. Keep the clock ticking. Gwyn shuts down Kenny from getting back into the fight. 25 seconds on the clock here. And keep an eye on the top middle of the scoreboard. The tick progression, even though the first 2 rounds felt so dominant for Optic, may have them spawning on offense if this gets to around 5.
15 seconds. Gotta try to make the play happen. Shotzi and Dashy make it. Hook joins in on the party. That's all 4 dead. This is what Shotzi's gonna try to be the aggressor. Push up into R, but the timing not good enough for at least the first kill. And this is where you're sort of giving Carolina opportunity to shut down both of these points. I know you got a lot of segments to make up for, but yeah, let's hop off B after we get that segment done. Guarantee A and extend the game clock.
The first tick does get locked on the B zone as well. So minute 12 on the clock. Live still favoring
Nice,
Optic
boys,
in the
nice.
process of this defense really coming to life for Carolina. Hook gets some freedom to move on in towards Arc. Timing here against TJ, not ideal. And as Dashy drops, the defense have reduced the life gap just to 2. Kenny has to play kind of the hunter here as Slasher's trying to stay alive.
How the fuck
Golden will
did they
big
not
win there for
fucking...
Carolina.
Yeah, Slasher's the safety net. He's hoping that his teammates find a little bit of success on the
We're
opposing end.
blowing bullets.
Every
and
kill
then...
that he finds is making it more difficult for Optic Texas to work out of their base, because him simply being on this side is forcing them to spawn over towards pool and work that overextension. Now with 40 seconds left, you're trying to line up the stun, you're trying to line up the nade, because we need this kill on Slasher.
Oh, that's just gonna be
He's just waiting for someone to challenge.
yeah,
him.
nah.
No.
The Slasher with the
Dashy
knife,
beats him
you
with the
dirty
pistol.
little shit.
Under 30 seconds to fight. 50-50 battle as Optic make their approach over towards B. Good team shots from Kenny and Hook. Second tick being worked on. Shotzi off the pinch. This is how it happens. 10th tick looking likely. Shotzi by himself, just doing what he does best. Shutdown is in, but the extra tick gets counted. 8 plays 5. Third tick on the way. Vivid clears off 1. Dasher here to join. The contest, though, is alive, and Carolina will clear the zone.
But I'm pretty sure with Optic Texas securing that 5th segment, it's going to come down to the slaying. And if I'm doing my numbers correctly, Optic will put themselves in a position to get that defense, but screw the defense in round number 5. We can still win it here.
Still could win it here. Shotzi caught. Quinn
Oh.
still alive. Last 2 members for
That's
Carolina.
it.
Team shots are out, but Optic will stay alive on the zone.
Easy.
Find the final kill needed.
Nice.
And put the control away without the cinema of the 5th round needed. What a battle, though, in those last 2 rounds, this vault control.
Back and forth, where you thought Optic didn't have an opportunity. They found all the kills at the correct time. Were able to extend the game clock, but I just think right there, Carolina were just turtling way too hard, Alan. We're coming to off spawn. We know that they're going to be applying pressure to the front as soon as they get that kill onto Slasher.
Yeah, I bet
but then
you were.
everyone just posted up,
Because your legs are
waiting for
getting
the
dead as well,
aggressor to
innit?
come in,
Because you're
and
leaning on
leaves
your...
that opening lane for Shotzi to set up that pinch, to catch that double, and then spawn all the way on the opposing side of your
if you guys didn't realise from the webcam, my missus went to Tracy went to pull out her wire and she pulled out her mic instead, so she's just talking but no one's saying nothing.
I the charger and I ended up putting it on the mic.
2 attacking rounds
Bless
at
you.
that.
Thank you.
Take a commanding 2-1 lead in the series.
Yeah, big time. I mean, everything was starting to look like Carolina was going to get the advantage, make this a round 5 affair, but now we're in back-to-back maps where we're going to do the easy analysis, Jay. You don't shoot bodies before the map's over, man. A bit Optic in the butt, a bit point in the butt here for Carolina. So let's just keep the guns, do what we normally do. I guess we missed that one in real time, but Shotzi sent that one back to sender as well. We got some drama between these 2 squads.
Hey man, Shotzi's just letting the community know you guys all suck. It's as simple as that. You guys want to start playing for the win, you got to do what I'm doing, and unfortunately no one can mimic his kind of gameplay.
The closest person is Snoopy.
Yeah.
Every single time 100%. He spawns on in. Because now you're feeling good if you are Optic Texas.
Kenny showed up though.
That we had on
yeah.
Vault, but you're not
even Hook.
Either. You are the powerhouse now on Vault Control.
We'll see if Hook shows up again for this next hard point.
Like the SMGs continuously get lost. The fact that
Dashy 27-17, Doxy 25-24.
But Optic Texas just showing that raw gunny as Dashy puts up another 30 bomb and another respawn.
30 bomb.
Going into a red card where they have an opportunity to finally put a W on the board to close out the series.
I really want to take another moment, though, and really highlight what you had said about Dashy and his individual ability to stay alive on top balcony there. I mean, multiple multi-kills from that position. When he's just not getting traded, it allows the subs to come off spawn and just hit whatever routes they want to. Again, it's real tough, I think, to see that from Carolina's perspective, as now we go to a red card hardpoint. Not a map that either team has really gotten a lot of rehearsal reps on. In particular, Carolina, we have yet to see them on the map, but obviously they're feeling decent about their opportunity to come here and get this into the mix after the holiday break, because their veto was Hacienda. They didn't want to see that one in the pool, so we're going to get a fresh look at this Royal Ravens team on this map for red card if they want to send us to 5.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to play a team like Optic Texas on a map like Hacienda, where Dashy used to love it 6 years ago. Shotzzy just gets lost on the map, and that map can be definitely a lot more punishing than the rest. But on a map like Red Card, where, like you said, Carolina have yet to play it, this is where it truly scares me, because we saw it in map number 1, the slaying wasn't really there. Red Card, it can tend to be a really big map on your mini-map, but the engagements go down every second. So you're going to see probably ARs going for 35, 40-plus kills. But if Carolina are not able to keep up with that pace, the fact that Optic Texas have a couple reps on it, they lost one to Boston, who I think is one of the best red card teams in the game, regardless of the mode, and they lost a really close one to Vancouver, which probably catches me off guard a little bit. But Optic Texas, with the way that they're shooting right now, and with the reps they already have, they're going to understand what they need to do better going forward. Carolina just got to show that in practice, this map has actually been treating them well.
Yeah, and I think the thing about it is I do put a lot of inherent focus to Slasher and Vivid. Not only because the map 1 was, you know, obviously a bit of a blowout, but in particular, it just Slasher and Vivid could not get into position. They just kept getting caught in weird spots, not necessarily off spring,
let's get it, boys.
but in spots where you just don't have those power positions. There's no excuses here. It's a large map. You have to be able to know when the timing is.
But you can definitely see this year in the CDL, there's no team that's completely outplaying.
No.
Most games go to game 5.
Because at the moment, it does feel like
so far, yeah.
Hopefully not now, but most games go to a game 5.
See if you're a Carolina fan of a map that's wide open like this one.
Yeah, and it's not just them too. Like the SMGs are getting their kills as well. Like Hook started off the first map 20 and 8. So if he's gonna do that with the ARs not missing bullets, you're gonna have to figure out how to try to slow them down. Now into the map 4 we go on towards red card. Optic not spawning on the preferred side, but 3 players attacking over towards hedges because this is the side they want.
But Slasher on the long angle, trying to fight this off. Nice snap over to Hoop. Vivid may have given him a bit of a calm from top windows, but Slasher now has to try to find some safety over towards the stage. Shotzi's on the hunt. Slasher shuts it down. Optic in the hard point for now, but numbers good for Carolina, and they will have a chance to contest with Slasher still being a pest down here over towards cars.
Yeah, that's all Slasher has to do. Just keep drawing the attention for the rest of Optic Texas on this side of the map, but once he falls, you're finding a couple kills around that middle map area at Ticket. And this is when Optic Texas can work their way in toward this objective, but they're more focused on trying to flip these spawns. They want to be on the team that spawns over towards stage instead on the backside of New.
Better start here from the ARs, in particular from Slasher, 4-1. Dashy clears off the scrap time, and now Optic get the motion towards the P2 move. Slasher holding
Duke's not doing so good on this one.
Response over towards the back keeps the spawn safe. He's had a nice little moment there, double to keep things going for Carolina, and TJ reads Kenny up top, so opening 20 seconds, good for Carolina.
Yeah, this is perfect so far, even without having the preferred side. They're setting up the crossfires and everything, but here come the pinch spawns from Optic Texas. They're finding all the kills in the feed. Quinn stuck between a rock and a hard place. Yeah, just die already. That's all 4 dead. And now Optic Texas in the driver's seat because they have the spawns for New, and they're soaking up this hill time.
Yeah, that's a bit of a miss there from Carolina. Did not expect Optic to be spawning as close as they did behind them. Leads to a very free break. Now Carolina trying to do almost the exact same thing as you already mentioned, getting a bit trapped here. Backside of the P2 spawns. David working on rotation as the last 10 seconds of scrap time will largely be taken by Optic. Some of it goes to the game clock, but Carolina have the numbers on rotation. Just comes down to can they find Dashy, and he's already found a clean first and a chance to finesse a little while longer.
Yeah, he found 2 more. He's already on 3, make it 4 in a row. The sole player off the rotation, trying to hold down the spawns for his team. Just gets bombarded by too many players on the side of Carolina. So Carolina gonna be forced spawning towards the backside. You have Optic trying to apply the pressure through the front, but they're not finding any kills. Carolina are holding.
Shotzzy does sneak out from the staircase, looking for his 3rd in a row. Gwyn tagged down heavy enough for Dashy to find a follow-up. And that will be now a lead for Optic. Spawn still over towards backside parking here for Carolina. Nades and stuns trying to hold them back. As the hit from the 3rd floor is on the way. Good opener from TJ. Trophy system keeping Optic safe for now, but it's not enough to hold off all 4 members for Carolina. They secure a break.
And they flip the spawns. So now Optic Texas have a tall hill to climb to try to work their way on out. Someone has to try to hit a route, and it's none other than Shotzzy taking the super long pitch through the soccer stadium. While the rest of his teammates still applying pressure over towards Dashy again, miraculously whipping out kills left and right as he finds the 2 there, but the rotation win is going to go in favor of the Ravens, and they're finding all the kills.
Yeah, huge. TJ coming off spawn, knowing that Shotzzy somewhere around the backside gets perfect timing on it. From the front, though, Texas deal with most of the stuff from Carolina. Nice stun over the top. Allows Kenny to get at least 1 onto TJ. The follow-up from Optic from the front is good. They're even going to do the spawns around it. They're going to know this, too. I mean, you've already got Hook in a great spot to watch the mid-staircase. Good awareness here from Optic as they once again have this back-and-forth tug-of-war in the lead for now as Carolina start to break from the front again.
Dashy does die in the hill. He is getting a wall bang by Slasher, so give an opportunity for Carolina to still contest this, not give up all these times. Shotzzy only at 27 HP. Everyone trying to take care of him, but somehow, some way, he is still alive. Is able to take down 1 before getting traded, and if you are devastated about that one, if you're Carolina, there's 1 guy left in that final 15, and it still goes out.
Shots over the middle of the map, not going to go the way of Dashy. Slasher still winning a couple of key 1v1s.
Right. Nice Shotzzy, love that.
After losing on the scrap time. Shotzzy working on ticket. Dashy from the backside over towards cameras. Not able to find where Carolina is.
Nice
Around
Shotzzy.
the hard point. But the follow-up from Texas allows a moment of contest. 1v1 here between TJ and Shotzzy. Kenny involved. And that's enough to once again just keep this back and forth. Optic currently with the numbers though, and now it's just down to finally the last shots needed onto Vivid, who does well to stay alive, but Optic will get in for some time.
Yeah, Optic are in a good position now to soak up a lot of this time because Carolina have yet to find a kill. Finally, Slasher gets 1, but that's already 4 dead in the feed. Kenny continuing that hot streak with this AR on another 5 spree. And he's soaking up this hill time. Literally Mr. Do-It-All here, Alec.
Yeah, for real. AR's really keeping Optic, not just in the game, but keeping him in the driver's seat, because Luke is only at 5 and 12, just not really finding timings on these routes. He's trying to pull the Shotzzy. Kenny from the staircase, just holding onto the heady. Scrap time good for Carolina. The wins also important here for the Royal Ravens. Hold on a second. If they can get this pick on the Hook, this would be massive towards their ability to lock down early time at P1, but Hook able to find the win versus Slasher. Optic trying to make a move over towards this hedge position, and they will win that outright, except for Vivid, who is able to get a kill and turn that into some hill time.
And now Slasher's opportunity to hold down his positioning, unfortunately, does not spot Dashy there. So if you are Optic, you have every angle to take him off for the hard point. That's exactly what they do, because here comes the pinch from Gwyn. At least take him off of P1 for now, but it's all about this hedge control, and Optic is showing a lot more presence on that side.
Yeah. It's all the outdoors going the way of Optic. 20 seconds to fight for. Optic needing not just the time, but also wanting to move over towards this backside stage position. Vivid inside a ticket. Whoa, nice double from him. Maybe has another opportunity onto Shotzzy. But no, that's just going to be a moment of consideration as Optic will win the rotation over towards New. Spawns will open as soon as the hard point does, though, and that's the problem. Shotzzy spawns in Narnia. Hard point not open yet, and Carolina are aware of this. If they can find these kills quickly, they can flood. Vivid around the back. Big 1v1 versus Kenny, and now it should be enough time just to help isolate, get players on the pitch, deal with Dashy inside of the goal, and that's enough for Carolina to get some control around the hill.
Oh,
damn, Vivid's going nuts right now.
He's filling the gunny now. So now you have an opportunity to trap Optic Texas towards that backside. You just cannot allow anyone to slip on by, and that's going to fall into the hands of TJ. He's able to find 1 Hook effective on the trade, so Optic potentially trying to set up a pinch here, but Carolina's still soaking up the time.
Crossfire setup here for Carolina. Kenny trying to break it apart. Shotzzy now finds a chance to get on in. Carolina trying to deal with it, and they will. So now, 20 seconds to fight for.
Nice, Dashy. And Hook. Nice. Hook's waking up now. Come on, Hookie boy. I need Hook the nuke, not Hook the baby bitch.
I'm trying to block the front here.
Yeah, I'm not really blocking. I'm just sliding.
I'm blocking the front, I think. I'm blocking
one shot in the net. I get new time.
He's on me, close to steps.
There's gonna be missing one. Yeah, missing Ken.
Adult dead.
Who's phone out? Ken go. I need my front push.
I'm blocking outer. I'm blocking front.
It's up, shot. He's got turned on. Outer Ken, that's on me. I'm bust on now. Yo, H1 on you.
What's bust on me?
H1 and bust. And one. Only S2 probably. S2.
H1 and S2.
Yeah, clear S2 fight. S2 got me, Carla. Bust, Dashy done. S2, Carla. On the stairs. On the stairs, Carla. I'm just running the hill. Go S2, you named me. S2. Name it front. Front S2.
S2, Kyler, weak.
Nice Hook.
I'm gonna call the elevator.
Hook and Kenny getting 2 pieces each. Soak up all this time, boys. Nice Hook. He's finally woken up now. Now Shotzi needs to wake up. Fucking hell.
H1 going top red, 100%.
Oh, he's like, what the fuck?
Shotzi's gonna be top one. He's gonna be top on us.
Alright,
One's front hold.
That might be him enough.
No, Kyler. Shotzi's still top window somewhere.
Top front hold. Nice. Nice on the front. Sky drop. That's one. That's one last guy.
I'm gonna try to cross here.
They can spawn mid on us. Below me somewhere. Good try pinching. They're spawning mid somewhere. I'll make sure out. H1 hook.
How do they know?
Spawn patterns. With your positioning with your team, you can kind of dictate as to where they're going to spawn because of the spawn pattern. Nice, Kenny.
P2 one shot. And P2 right now. Going A bomb. Yeah, Tiger cross now. He's in net. Tiger cross. It could be mid A2. He's in that area. Maybe A2. In that Kenny. Kenny did that. H1. H1 already. Cross P2. H1 and P2. H1 one shot, bro. H1 didn't cross our one. We have our side.
Alright, got him.
This guy's gonna be clean as new, bro. Dead. That's him by name.
Like, take it.
Yeah, Chatsy's playing spawn kills, bro.
Is he on?
I'm going to take it with you guys, He won't got it, maybe?
Got it or something?
New dead. We got it. Not hitting, he's dead.
Nice, 2-2, one's old.
Plan's hold. Can we take it?
Are you gonna be
hold dead? No.
I'm gonna Lamar, Dashy, one shot. Lamar, Dashy, really weak.
Yeah, my mid or no? Yeah, I'm mid. Top window, Ken. Dead. Let me know if you help me. I'm looking at
Lamar, really weak.
Take it. Nice. Well, I have all mid. Lane up, dead. I have all mid.
Nice.
They can go late from Lamar.
We need to get some kills now.
One's going to be SND right now.
Need to get some more kills. Yes, Shotzi.
Great little back and forth here, Jay. What's your takeaway kind of off the listen as we look at an even game?
The fact that Carolina was able to soak up as much time as they did at P4 was insane to me because I thought Optic Texas, they were finding the kills. They were keeping it scrappy, but every single time, either it was Slasher who's peeking off the hill to find a kill and continuously soaking the time, or his teammates coming up to respawn, keeping them alive, have now put them right back into this game. They win the rotation over towards P5 to tie the game up and do not allow Optic Texas a single second here.
Yeah.
So now it's all about this third half of the game. Who's going to dominate heads control more?
Quinn's going to get here first. He's going to be uncontested, at least for now. Trying to feel things out. Shotzi nearby, but he'll jump into the hill as Optic are actually cleaning things up. Backside bleachers. Quinn now seen. Help from Dashy clears him off, and that's now good early time here for Optic. First 15 seconds, all theirs.
Uncontested so far, and they were able to flip the spawns as well. So Optic Texas potentially grow themselves a little bit of a lead. It's just all about maintaining this side of the minimap. And Shotzi's going to try to set up a pinch there. Vivid does find one onto Dashy. Here comes Shotzi on the pinch. Here comes Shotzi and Kenny to find two. And then even though Optic Texas aren't soaking up a lot of this hill time, they want the side of the map that they want.
Yeah, the only thing about that is Shotzi, good moment individually, but it doesn't really change
Nice
how the pattern of this hill has gone to this
Finally
point.
woken up a bit now, boy.
Gwyn Slasher in and around the hard point, getting some time here for Carolina, keeping this within 20 points. New hard point, right side of the map. Optic trying to.
The thing is, I know they want the spawns, yeah, but at the same time, they're letting them get a lot of no time.
For Optic to get a setup and just flood from the front.
You'd rather white time than them getting
yeah.
One player
So.
setting up a pinch in hoop.
That's what I mean, they're getting time.
No, now they are, yeah.
Second, and this is where Optic are going to decide to pounce. Gonna have TJ trying to flip his teammates on out, but the break comes in for Optic Texas. Lead change again.
TJ able to take down Dashy over towards stage side. Shots towards man. TJ right back into the hill. Keep an eye. I was about to say the game clock is tremendously low. We're only down to 29 seconds of game time in a tie game. This may be decided by the clock itself. TJ in the hill. Small lead for Carolina. Gwyn trying to follow up, but Optic get the break, and we're right back to essentially a level game with Vivid trying to work for the scrap time.
And Carolina need to get out of this setup. They need to get out of these back spawns guaranteed here at P2 because Optic Texas are going to have that rotation over towards New. They're just going to decide to fight on through. No one hitting a deep route to think about that next hard point. And it's still only a 10-point difference with 20 seconds on the game clock.
Yep, Shotzzy, big moment here at mid-stairs, finds the first, slips away from Gwyn. Kenny's gonna spawn behind the new hill. He can get here to assist, but the clock is the issue. 12 seconds.
Get on the thing. Oh.
Down to the final 8 seconds. Shotzi's taken out. Carolina, are they gonna risk this by not
Yeah,
playing inside the hill?
Shotzzy should have gone onto the clock.
TJ gets 2. Last 3 seconds. Who
Nah.
has to go massive? Shut down by Vivid, and the game clock will send us to 5.
No, Shotzzy should have done some time and got time on point.
Down and out before we got to the bleachers hill, but in a certain regard, nearly get.
I think he was hoping Kenny would get the kill from behind.
Doesn't matter. You need to go. You see it there. You can literally see it. Jump on it.
That's mad that he actually went from timing. That's crazy.
The other two players coming up, the respawning to clutch them on kills, they were able to walk away with 40 seconds there. Then they win the rotation over towards P5, dominate to tie the game up. They keep P1 white. That's when you're thinking, okay, Optic, they're doing a great job. The maintaining over towards head.
That's what I was saying. If we didn't have so much white time when we had them literally shooting them, we would have won that.
To keep them off of that hard point. And then when you get over towards the P2, I think
Luke
it was on
finally woke
TJ,
up there,
man.
though.
The fact
He
that
did really
TJ,
well.
after his teammates all go 4 dead,
To be fair, everyone played well. It's just if we had more time.
That allows his team to grow the lead that they did, to keep it scrappy, and then push their way through the front side.
Like, look, he should have just run.
Trapped Optic towards the back and have that game plan in the back of my mind. All we have to do is keep them off. They have to sprint up a staircase to actually get onto this hard point. And the game plan worked out to perfection. Carolina, we knew it, Alan. We knew it. We was guaranteed going to a game 5, but this time they get it done in dramatic fashion to get us there.
Unreal scenes. It's that one moment, I think, in the halfway point of our second rotation when it's 119 to 152. Looks like Optic are about to just put this one a little bit out of reach, but the chip back between the 4th and especially the 5th hard point for Carolina. Talking about keeping not just time contested, but more so ripping apart time from Optic in moments that didn't even look like they even had the numbers to stay on the hill. So, drama in the 4th map, 206, 197, gets us all the way to 5 again. This has been a weekend full of map 5s. Very appropriate that these semifinals will also see the extension of these series. But the protocol search, Jay, give me your quick thoughts before we head to break.
It's going to be a banger. Both teams undefeated. Both teams, at least one team will walk away with a loss here, but it's playmakers on both ends. If Slasher and the boys can slow down the game from what Shotzzy and Hook are going to be able to do, it's going to be a really mixy game 5.
It's going to be a fun one. Protocol map 5s for both of our semis. We're heading to a break. When we come back, we'll find out who will play FaZe in our first minor.
Shotzzy fucked up there.
Don't go
He should have stopped clock.
Yeah.
Not that he's stuck on Shotzzy, if not, but he should have run on clock and then let his team come to back him up.
Yeah, I think it was he was waiting for because Kenny spawned behind the point.
So you have to you have to be aware of clock time.
No, yeah, he probably was. But Kenny spawned back of sight, back of point. He probably was thinking like, oh, Kenny can get onto the point before me, so I'll hold this angle.
But that's why you talk instead of guessing.
No, but they probably were. They were probably talking, saying like Kenny probably said, oh, I'll spawn back of sight. I'll go on point, stop the clock. You hold the angle. But then they didn't know there was Slasher sitting there waiting for Kenny the whole time.
But that's why you don't wait. If I was Shotzzy, I'd be like, nah, I can see it now, I'll go.
Yeah,
right
but
here.
it's obviously they made a call and it was just the wrong call, innit?
Mm.
Kenny obviously must have been like, oh, I'm near the point, I'll go jump on the point, hold the clock. You hold the angle, I'll hold behind. But then Slasher already rotated there without being spotted, which is a difficult thing to do in general on its own. And then Kenny got spotted out, so Shotzzy went to go get on the clock, and then by the time he was going to get on the clock, he got killed. He got killed running to the point, so he didn't get there in time, and they lost.
But it also says about like all that white time that they were just trying to rotate for position versus getting game time. Game time.
Oh, I'm stressing really fast now. stressing.
Like we said, it's gonna be a good game, and it has been.
Yeah, 100%.
It's been a good tournament, to be fair.
Yeah, it's been a wicked tournament, yeah.
First final.
You're watching Call of Duty League TV.
Standy will get free info here onto Assault. Quickly finds the kill. No. He's going for the assassination. Didn't hold the button down long enough. And Assault says not so fast.
Let me tell you right now, these guys play every day.
Look,
you
that's
should know
dope.
you cannot assassinate someone when they are a little bit taller than you on the map. And unfortunately, the 1v1000 doesn't work, but
He
we
lost.
know them hands from Assault. They are definitely warm. 2 punches right to the chest to take down Standy.
They're playing my
That's friendly fire to the DJ, guys.
There should never be a moment where I'm uncomfortable. I'm not sure what to do, okay? Yeah. I don't want us to ever get quiet, ever. It's in our trucks, our back trucks. He's laying down where he just killed me. Okay, it's in laundry also. Back right on me. I'll take the SQs right. Close that friend. Let's go, man! Our pitch right. Which are you? Nice, 4. Upstairs. They gotta go in. Upstairs. That's how we back in! Let's go! I got a full streak P2. Did what I did? Yeah. I just kept playing caution the whole round, the whole map. I didn't even go front. You know why? Because I just keep going mid. I'm running into mannequin. I'm making mannequin. Nice. I'm back ass. Let's walk in. Front logic. Back ass.
Well, you know what the defending champs are going to want. A chance at getting a first quote-unquote championship here, if you want to call it that, in minor number 1. But facing a very tough Carolina team. The game clock decides map number 4. So we head to Protocol Search and Destroy. Ship and Study with you. Jay, talk to me about these map 5s because, let's be honest, we've seen Optic on this map quite a bit, but Search and Destroy has been really solid for Carolina so far through this year.
Yeah, Carolina are IC and S&D so far. Map 5, they're sitting at 2-0 with both wins coming over Cloud9. But the Team KD sitting at a 1.22. Overall opening duel win percentage at 55%. That's the biggest category, again, that I'm going to be looking at in this map number 5 for both of these teams, man. Because right now, it's 44% chance that Carolina find first blood. But when they
Penny is yawning. That's not a good sign.
100% conversion rate. On the opposite side,
Could be a good sign. It could be him going.
52% chance at first
Mate,
blood.
you guys
And when they
are
find it,
shit.
80% conversion rate. So
Definitely
we know
not
how
that.
fast these SSGs can play in towards the bottom side of that bomb site.
If he could say that, then they'll be battering them. They would be over right now.
How they're gonna work their way in toward that site?
They would have won the trophy by now.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
They would have won against these guys.
Yeah, this year is definitely a different game.
Because the drama that we've had in these map 5s has been
Like, there's no team that's battering any other team.
on the opening offense first,
100%.
CDL skins.
We thought Thieves was like unstoppable, and they got beat by FaZe of all.
A little bit of an opening pause, so we'll talk a little bit more.
Who's not FaZe, we know.
I think the thing is, like,
They showed bits today.
I do like they paused because the boys are talking.
You know, the opener obviously
Alright,
dominated
we'll
by
be right
Optic,
back,
but
chat.
a wake-up call for Carolina. They bounced back. They look really solid on the hacienda. I think more importantly is that they were able to adapt and adjust to what Optic Texas were trying to do to be sneaky, to try to get around the back. They were not allowing Optic to find as much success early in the first 30 seconds of that map.
Yeah, once Slasher started to get a read on it, okay, Shotzi has hit us bottom mid and towards our wine 3 rounds in a row. I'm just not going to allow him to do that again. Once they realize what Optic are trying to throw at them, that's when you start developing those counters. But then you also got to remember in that map number 2, there was a lot of one-on-one gunfights that were able to make those plays happen for Carolina. Just remember with TJ starting on that flank on the opposing end, he was able to win that one-on-one with the bomb. So you got to have that confidence if you're Carolina. Here goes the game 5.
Right on into the mix. Shotzi already not just in towards the A site, he's through it and on spiral. Kenny will drop for first blood. That's actually now allowing Gwen a chance to kind of play from the backside at field. But Shotzi in this position, if he gets a read from Dashy, he may be able to just pop out and blow this play up before it even occurs. But Dashy will fall. Nades are out. Hook able to turn that into a second. And it's on to Shotzi. The timing of this 1v2 is everything. Has the bomb plant to play off of. And now the move. Nade gets bounced over. No, not quite able to finish the shots though on to Gwynn. Oh, here we go again. More bodies shooting between both these two teams.
And Carolina with the heads up play of how they wanted to come out. They gave up that A site for free, and they find that first blood. That was the biggest kill of the round, in my opinion. The fact that Vivid was able to open up that big door opportunity for his teammates to all drop there after finding that first kill. But then I thought of Shotzi, when he put himself in that position towards Spiral, like, the comms ain't coming in. Like, we're not hearing the stuns and nades. Everything come through the big door. He could potentially set up a pinch there. But decided to stay alive in towards Spiral. And unfortunately, Gwyn was ready for that positioning and was able to secure that gunfight for Ravens to take the first.
Yeah. Heavy nade stack for Carolina. Head over towards that window zip line. Vivid just making sure nobody pushes through field. DJ delayed nade over towards the windows. Nothing landing here, though, as Carolina not opting to play through elevator at the moment. It's just trying to feel things out. Shotzi may have just been seen by Vivid, or maybe not. Vivid's actually going to step up into P2 here, and they're going to be on just the opposite sides of the wall from each other.
Yeah, Vivid's trying to play a timing. Slasher going to be here to try to assist him. So Vivid can start to peek his way over through big door, but this play is all going to rely on Shotzi. He's going to have the first fight, and he finds that first blood onto Saster. Instant trade, though, 3v3.
Yeah, and the problem here for Carolina is that they also lose TJ in the same breath, and Gwyn's been seen. Yeah, Hook's just going to follow up on that. No worries whatsoever. Shotzi gets forward, forces the hand of Carolina. Him getting one is fine. The rest of Optic following up on the bottom side of the A site. No worries.
Yeah, they were thinking right there for Carolina, okay, we killed Shotzi. It turns into a 3v3. But then when you drop down in towards Spiral, that's where Hook was just waiting for you to drop down, and he was able to find a double. Shuts down that round right there for Carolina. Optics able to tie the game up at 1, but you can already see how Carolina are playing this SCD completely different than when they did in map number 2. They are slowing down the game, not trying to allow Shotzi and Hoop to get going with that movement or getting out of dodge early into these rounds.
You know, just don't roll the dice on these 4v4 battles at A is what it feels like right now for Carolina. Hook, AR in hand, trying to watch the long angle. Stun, read by Shotzi, follows up with an easy first blood into TJ. There is no one else here from Carolina. This should lead to a very free play.
And this time they give up that big door control. They decide to just play their numbers in towards the Cypher. Slasher is able to find one. Shotzi still only at 3 HP. That stun is going to connect, so the full gen is going to come in. But this time Shotzi a little bit more active on the flank. Let Slasher know, yeah, that's my gunfight.
Round's not over yet, though. 2v3, Gwyn up top. Waiting to play this one with Vivid. Kenny watching the cross. Tags are out. The nade pushes him off. And now the crossfire setup. Kenny will drop. Time becomes an issue here, though, for Carolina. Shotzi rejoins the party. Shadow seen, but Shotzi still wins the gunfight, leaving Vivid by himself. And he's too low to hold the candle. As we're starting to get some narratives here. Both these two teams not holding back from shooting each other after they're already dead.
Yeah, and Shotzi's letting him know, you guys are all great players. This is exactly what he just said in that playergram, quote for quote. But that's just a simple adjustment right there from Optic. This time they say, no, Dashy, you don't got to go over towards tower side. You can just work inside the site with us. We're going to push it out. And that's exactly what Shotzi was able to do after finding that first blood. You have the numbers in towards site. And you play the trades out. So now Optic up 2-1, 2 rounds in a row. They've shown a lot of presence early on to try to contest that A site. Do Carolina to call the audible. Go B.
Come on, Shotzi.
Shotzi making the play over through the middle of the map. Through gun. And he's going to follow up right behind Slasher. No problems there.
Nice Shotzi, first blood again.
He's already done enough as he's going to even just burst the doors and really forces Carolina offense to hit the brakes.
Yeah, because you know definitely someone's going to be playing in towards Grandma's. Or at least around that area watching that zip pinch. So you can continuously be a nuisance. That's exactly what it's going to do. But another 4v3. Man advantage in favor of Optic on this retake.
What's happened to that trophy system? Gwyn just placed a trophy and just instantly deleted?
Might have been Optics.
I don't know. I could have sworn Gwyn just put one down. Weird interaction regardless. They don't have the trophy here to keep them safe.
Ooh.
Vivid, nice opener onto Kenny. No follow-up immediately from Dashy. Stun will come through. Follow
Dashy,
gunfight,
nice.
not going to be there for Vivid. So now it's just down to what does the timing look like on this pinch? Shotzi on 6 in a row. Wins the first. Gwyn trying to get proactive. Takes
yes,
the win versus
Shotzi.
Hook, and then he has a chance at Shotzi, but can't quite lock down the shots. And Optic will take
Shotzi's
the
on a
round.
7 streak right now. What the fuck?
Finding that gunfight, man. The fact that he's able to slide down zip, you know there's only one angle that he can come from. He's just able to slide on in, win that gunfight, stall enough time for him to get a little bit of his health back, and at the same time, Hoop puts down shots into Gwyn to have him weaker for this final engagement. But it's, again, Shotzi making plays. Alan, it's as simple as that. The fact that nobody's watching over the map, Optic said screw contesting in towards the bottom side of that bomb site. As we take a look at the replay again, gets the better of Gwyn, but Shotzi just taking advantage. I'm telling you, he said you guys are all great players. It's exactly what he said there, Alan, but Optic Texas 3 rounds in a row.
He definitely didn't say that.
Very polite. Thing about it is, it's not just 3 rounds in a row, it's also 7 kills in a row for Shotzi. I think he's 1 off from having a Hellstar, maybe a little bit more than that. Oh, TJ dead to rights. And now the stun follow-up. Oh, Vivid's in trouble. Shotzi, pistol out, 9 HP. It's Dashy to finalize the kill. But Shotzi will still find a way to have the last word as the bomb's going to get planted 2v2.
Come on, boys. 2v2. Dashy.
Shotzi is going to be 1 off that Hellstorm, so a nade through the top side of gun, not going to be able to connect onto anyone. The RC strictly for the information is going to get blown up. Now, how do Carolina decide to work their way on in? It might be on Gwyn to start it off.
Well, Shotzi's down to essentially a bolt worth of health. The stun will keep him at 6 HP. Gwyn following, but Shotzi still wins the gunfight. Oh my goodness. Still will be taken down. Carolina will get the round, but it doesn't come before Shotzi gets the elimination, and with that, the Hellstorm.
Yeah, Hellstorm is now guaranteed, so that should be opening for Optic Texas on their next attack to work their way over towards B, because you're not going to be able to sit over towards Heli. You're not going to be able to camp in the back of your spawn. So they can use that to potentially guarantee themselves an attacking round, but just great plays out of Carolina in the 2v2. The fact that they still had a lot of stuns and nades to retake that site, because it was not going to be possible if Gwyn just slides on in to double chow either Shotzi or Hoop. But the fact that he has a stunner nade to have both those players weak, they couldn't fully commit to watching that angle. And with him just getting 1, sets up Slasher for that final kill. So is Carolina able to stop the bleeding? But Slasher also finds 3.
Big round here.
Come on,
Carolina,
Shotzi.
knowing the Hellstorm's likely in play, will just drop down the elevator with the trophy system to have some support. But look at the position that Shotzi's found himself in. He's playing frontside PCs, and no one for Carolina is going to know about this. The play over towards Spiral, though, may have opened the door for the Ravens on the post plant. But Shotzi up close and personal. Oh, I was going to say maybe a chance to line him up, but instead it's going to get the double, leaving Dashy to the 1v3. Slasher sees him over the top. Little whack-a-mole situation as they keep popping heads. And there's just no way you would think that Dashy pulls this one off. It would be a miracle as Gwyn will fully push it out in Carolina. Quick tempo, get us tied at 3.
And that's an ace right there out of Gwyn, man. Right now it's a Shotzi versus Gwyn show. They're both shooting each other's bodies, and they both want this game 5 so bad. But it's been
come on,
blow for blow.
3-3.
That
Need to
time
get
is
this,
Gwyn
boys.
was able to drop down low.
Lock this in.
Flies on in. Great team shots for the first. We know that Shotzi has to be close, but then the snap onto Kenny. Good enough from our reigning rookie of the year to tie the game up at 3.
Come on, boys.
Now 10-4 for Gwyn. Just a battle of giants here between Shotzi and Gwyn. Defense for Carolina, setting up a trophy system towards field side, and will contest A from the big door. RCXD pushing in towards elevator as TJ will get first blood. That's bombed down, and that's known now for Carolina. Do we get a yo-yo situation here? Can anyone hit the zip, pull the bomb, and get out of there?
Yeah, we need to have the master escape plan here, and unfortunately, Shotzi, the stun is not good enough to get it done. Now you instantly put yourself in a 4v2. We know that they're all camping that bomb down situation, so Kenny and Dashy need to try to isolate some of these kills.
Yeah, Dashy, he knows that he may get a chance to 1v1 Vivid here. Has to have it, but at the same moment, Kenny will drop, leaving Dashy for the 1v4. No bomb, 38 seconds. And Carolina, after the hot start from Shotzi and a lot of body shots on both sides, are 1 kill away from going up 4-3 here.
25 seconds still to work with. Dashy knows that every single one of these gunfights are going to come in on this bottom side of A site. Going to go for the child onto the first, but the flank is there, and Carolina, 4 rounds in a row, have been able to take the lead. But if you're Hook in that situation as the bomb carrier, Allen, once he falls, that whole round is over. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, you're supposed to be the guy throwing the shoulders, trying to get the info of how many players are down there, probably eating a stun or a nade, and instantly hitting the zip back up. But one too many shoulders leads to him falling first, and then Shotzi trying to do the yo-yo play to grab the bomb, but unfortunately it was not good enough.
A couple of ledges grabbed there, unfortunately. Carolina now 4-3 up. Gwyn on 5, Slasher on 4. RCXD still at the ready here for Gwyn after Slasher, I think, has used his last round. TJ, quick route through sidewalk. Wait a second. He is all the way around the backside of this play. Has Vivid been able to keep Kenny interested? Sure feels that way, but Shotzzy finds first blood, forcing TJ to get activated. It's only going to be a 3v3.
Oh, and you were hoping right there for your tees that Vivid does not fall. You still don't take care of the most important player in Shotzzy because he's the one with that Hellstorm in the back pocket. But Bomb goes down at B. Slasher in an island roll, and he's going to invest that Hellstorm now. He's going to get the info. I don't know if it's going to lead to a kill.
Slasher able to find Hook. We go 2v2. Less than 30 on the clock. Shotzzy has to move quickly. Slasher watching the cross through mid. Dashy sees it. Timing through the door is awkward. And Dashy, he finds the elimination onto Gwyn. Shotzzy's waiting in
nice.
in a really good place of timing.
Nice. Shotzzy and Dashy, the boys.
Yeah, sorry guys, my acid reflux. I was trying to find my tablet.
Did you find
it? But there's none in the box. I don't know how.
What the setup is looking like on the post plan.
There was a pack in the sofa drawer.
One-on-one gunfights, find both, and then Sachi is in the right place at the right time versus Slasher. Able to shut down all those players on the opposite
boys,
side.
let's lock this in. Let's just close this out.
Stabilize the game now at 4-4. But this is Slasher just running right by Shotzzy.
While he's in the Hellstorm.
Yeah, does not know that. And then Shotzzy knew where you were, buddy. He knew that you were playing in towards top grandmas because Dashy gave him that comm, but able to take the round as Optic.
Back to level playing field here. Maybe an RC still available for Carolina, but yeah, it's out right now. Oh, Gwyn nearly finds the timing to just boop it into the elevator. Doesn't land. TJ, good awareness. Finds Shotzzy for first blood. Can he slip away, though? You've got Optic members up top. Kenny in particular. He's been seen shoulder out, Semtex to respond, and Kenny has to back off.
And that play is only possible because that RC gets invested. You're forcing Optic Texas to wait for that to come on in. And TJ takes the map away for the first blood. Now the bomb going down at B, though. Vivid is going to be in a position to potentially contest. He's also holding his spawn, so no one's going to push on through. Before V3 and another retake for Carolina.
This is all about what Kenny can find here. Your Dash is just going to throw shoulders and try to get some information to Kenny, who's watching the crossback to the defense in their spawn. Here's the timing. Slasher, pistol out, taken care of. And now all of a sudden, Carolina on this retake has to deal with Kenny quickly. But wait a second, TJ timing here. That's going to work out. They get the isolation that they need. 17 seconds on the clock. Dashy trying to hold inside the helicopter. Sees Vivid on the cross. Gwyn trying to hold. Shots are out. Time becoming an issue. Dashy, does he have the ability to stay alive?
Oh, they got it.
I believe it's hopped at just the nick of time. It'd be close, but Gwyn should have it. I think he got out like 7.6 or so, and yeah, he does.
Yeah, you got it.
Carolina take their time on that retake, man. They were able to find a trade onto Kenny. Gwyn at the same time turns it into a 2v1. But then everybody's eating shots. It's as simple as that. Vivid was slide, slippery slide, trying to wait for his teammate to get into the play.
Dashy should have just went for the kill on Vivid.
Someone eventually has to stick that defuse.
Because then Gwyn would have had to get off the bomb to kill Dashy.
Still left in the clip.
So then he wouldn't have had enough time at all.
That kill onto Dashy. Now puts them at game point.
Come on, boys. 2 rounds in a row. Let's get this.
Oh, my goodness. Carolina on the offense.
Come on. Come on, boys.
Another show-stopping map, 12 and 5. Full flood right on in. Hook, stun will land. He was just looking for the information. Look at Shotzzy. He's already playing around the backside of this play. Trophy system down for Carolina, but what does Shotzzy want to do with the timing here?
Yeah, he's not going to flank Zip. You know that angle is definitely being watched. You just want to make sure that we're giving the information that everyone's in towards the site, but Slasher finds the first blood.
Trophy system should be in place here to keep this Carolina post plant safe. Here comes the flood from the front door, though. Gwyn tag. Slasher finds the opener, traded away. Kenny, Shotzzy finding the kills. It's just down to Kenny, and boy, would this be a time for him to come alive. 1v2 situation. Vivid playing the jump up, just looking for the info. TJ on the cross. There's the info gathered. Stun avoided. TJ shots gets Kenny down to half HP. 13 seconds, you gotta make a move. Vivid still seen in the back. It's just down to the pistol.
That's it.
Shots
GG.
not gonna land. Carolina.
Oh, Gwyn.
Wow. With 2 birds from Gwyn. Send Optic away in top 4 position for Minor 1. and they punch a ticket to the finals against the
So many mistakes that we made that game.
Yeah.
Not that game, sorry, that series.
They know that if we get this bomb down at A,
So many, like, so many
every
mistakes we made that game, that
all we have
series.
to do is trade it out. They turn it into a 2v1. Kenny was throwing shoulder after shoulder, but Carolina
Just click the
did
live
not
button
make
at the
it
bottom,
any
bud.
easier for him.
No, I
They
wanna-
found another
Yeah, if
first
you go
win
to
in that
live,
final round. They realized where the pressure was coming in.
where it says live there,
They traded out
it
effectively
goes straight
because
to
they
live.
had the numbers in that
Yeah, but I wanna-
situation. And even if Carolina
Oh,
gets
you wanna
to
see
get
their
it done in a
reaction to them
2-3-5, how
giving
about
the
a
birds.
2-4-5 to move on to the finals versus Atlanta in our first minor?
Wow. I mean, again, and outside of map number 1, this was as tight as it really gets. I mean, yeah, the 3-1 vault control moments away from getting that to around 5, but 2 different 6-4s in the search and destroy has Carolina still flawless. I don't think anyone would have saw that coming at the beginning of the year, but they find a way to get to the grand finals in the minor. Jay, give me your final thoughts here.
Hey, man, that chemistry, whatever they have done over there in the Carolina clip.
So,
shout out
Hector's
Marcus
like,
for
yeah,
early cookies
shut it
because these
down,
guys are
turn it
firing
off,
on
and
all
Chuck's like,
cylinders.
no,
They're
we're not
so
gonna
in
turn it
sync.
off.
Regardless if you think someone's making an individual play, it's for a bigger picture. And if they continue to play like that, without question, they're one of our top teams.
Oh yeah,
Statement
we
made.
played
Back to the desk
like
now as we
bad.
start to get things ready for our first minor grand final.
The team with the best intro is apparently the best team in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Carolina Royal Ravens and Alley Cat are on top of the world. How you feeling, Al?
I'm feeling great. The numbers pulled through for me.
Yes, finally. And let's talk a little bit about why you went with Optic in this one. Why did you think that they were going to be able to cause Carolina trouble?
Well, I mean, I think we saw it. We go all the way to that game 5, and honestly, Shotzi and Dashy have just both been unreal in every single game mode, and particularly the search and destroys. I thought that they fared pretty well against Carolina there. I was wrong. Obviously, it comes down to the wire in a lot of the rounds, but Carolina just making the adaptions at the end of these games to really close it out, and it was particularly their offense. We'll talk about it in a bit, but Carolina just looks so good.
Let's take a look at some of these highlights, and during the early rounds, can we also just call out what happened in that game 4? Big brain plays to get off the point. Let time run out. You don't have to get to 250, but break it down for me. What do you see after a little bit of body shooting from Gwyn? It looked like Shotzi was pissed off early in this game.
Yeah, so in the beginning, like, it was a lot of banging out bottom computers on this, which you'll see a lot. And then, like, Shotzi just took over, man. You saw him getting hyped. I think it really did tick him off when Gwyn shot his body, and they were just rolling them. And then towards the end of this in their offensive rounds, you saw like the push over towards B from Carolina, just sort of trying to keep Optic honest. They got the streak out of
Alright,
Shotzi
chat.
earlier
Well,
than Optic
we're major Optic fans, so if Optic aren't playing the final, I'm not gonna lie, I've got work in the morning, so I'll rather just go to bed and get 99. Well, I say
I mean, when
early
it comes to majors, we'll try watch as many games as we can, but because of the time difference,
yeah,
it's hard.
it is difficult because there's a time difference, but I'm gonna try and get time off for the majors for work. But unfortunately, if I can't, work's work, it pays the bills, so I've got to do it. So yeah.
But how does he play with
Yep.
But that's it.
I think we'll leave it there.
Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you did, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you are new around here, and you'll definitely be seeing a lot of videos with us, not just streams, but back with the watch party. And we'll see you guys next weekend for the online playoffs.
Obviously, we're the most important game mode in this series, and the reason why that